Chapter 61 Huang Rong's Top Cooking Skills. At present, Shimura Danzo's threat to Baisu is already very small, and it can be solved with little effort. He estimated that the third generation would not be so sloppy that he ran to tip off the news, but fortunately he didn't fully believe that old guy, and his strength was enough to single out the entire Konoha. He checked the chat group. There was not much time left before the battlefield mission started, and there was one more person who signed up for the adventure team, Tokasaki Kurumi. In other words, with Jie Shaolun, there are 4 people in their team. Although Tokasaki Kurumi is a sick girl, but aside from this, her strength is sufficient. The angel she manifests is the Angel of Time, Zafkiel, a huge clock that is more than twice her height. Zafkiel's long needle and short needle are ancient rifles and pistols, respectively, which fire Zafkiel's abilities as bullets, and the numbers on the clock have various powerful abilities. However, using an angel will also consume a lot of time value equivalent to lifespan. Kurumi's left eye pupil is a golden clock that rotates with the activation of his ability. When Zafkiel's power is activated, the numbers on the clock will have a shadow injected into the muzzle, and then hit the target to have an effect, and it is meaningless if it doesn't hit the target. She also has an enchantment used to replenish time, the City of Eating Time. Lifeforms that step into the range of the barrier will be forced to absorb time, and the body will become heavy and unable to move. She often appears in the city through her own will, picking her prey, basically bullying bad guys, pull it into the City of Eating Time, depriving the opponent of time, lifespan. The purpose of Kurumi joining the adventure team this time may not be simple, and maybe he has the idea to hit him. Baisu, the registration period for the adventure team is about to end. Are there any strong members willing to join our adventure? Whitebeard will add a devil fruit to each person on the basis of the task reward. After taking it, you can awaken superpowers. The top treasure. As soon as he went online, the attention of the group members was attracted, and the topic of the water group began to move closer to him. Mrs. Guo, hello, Lord. You said last time that you can predict our future, is that true? I'm really curious when you say fate is confusing. Uncle Ying, as far as I know, Taoist masters have some skills in this area, but it is unheard of for the group owner to directly intercept the future pictures from the Tao of all heavens and make them into memory copies. The strength of the group leader is not something that ordinary people can guess. Quote. And Izumi Sagiri. Of course, Master Baisu is not only powerful, but also very loyal. The last time Jie Shaolun entered the game, Master Baisu went to catch it. Chasing 10 school beauties this year, cough cough. Little girl, I'll save your face in front of the new members in the future. If you say that, it's not easy for you to find a partner at Izumi Sagiri. Mrs. Guo, so that's the case, the group owner, can you predict the future for me? There are not many rare things on Peach Blossom Island. This is a little bit of my heart, please accept it. Ding, Mrs. Guo sent a Yuhi bag, please check it carefully. Huang Rong is worthy of being a smart person with ice and snow, 100 times stronger than Tony Stark, and even knew that she would take the initiative to give me a Yuhi bag. Baisu directly opened the Yuhi bag, and a burst of aroma came towards him, and a famous dish appeared in front of him and placed it on the table. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting Yudi who's listening to Luome, How You Soup, and 24 Bridges Bright Moon Night. Who listens to Falling Plum on the Jade Flute. It is paired with 5 different meats. Each meat strip is made up of 4 small meat strips. There are only 5 kinds of meat, one is lamb sitting buttocks, one is pig ears, one is veal kidney, and one is deer leg meat and rabbit meat. Mixed bite of pigs and sheep is a common taste, and roe and cattle are chewed together as a common taste. If the order is not counted, there will be 25 changes in total, which is the number of 5 or 5 plum blossoms, and its shape is like a flute, so it is called Hao Ping soup. Dozens of yin yuhi's cherries float in the green clear soup, and 7 or 8 pink yuhi petals are floating. The bottom is lined with tender bamboo shoots. Yuhi's white and green colors are bright and eye-catching. The cherry pit has been taken out, and something else is embedded, but it is Madara dove meat. Is written in the first chapter of Book of Songs, Guan Guan Juju, in the River Island. A beautiful lady, Kun Zihauchi. 24 Bridge Bright Moon Night. First cut open a ham, dig 24 round holes, cut the tofu into 24 small balls and put them into the holes, tie the ham and steam it, wait until it is steamed, and the ham is full of flavor among the tofu. The ham is discarded and not eaten. Huang Rong used the hand of the family orchid to flick the acupoints, with 10 fingers that were dexterous and gentle, and if there was no energy, she cut them into 24 balls. Mrs. Guo, Wronger made this by herself. Please taste it, if you think it's delicious. I can make it for the group owner in 1010 in the future. A private chat appeared in Bai Su's message, and Huang Rong's move directly grabbed Bai Su's stomach. Back then, when she and Guo Jing met Hong Qigong in the wild, it was precisely with her top-notch cooking skills that she conquered Hong Qigong, and she coaxed the old man to teach Guo Jing to subdue the 18 dragon palms, and eventually became a generation of martial arts masters. Don't look at Hong Qigong as a beggar, but he is a person who knows how to enjoy himself. He relied on his martial arts to live in the imperial dining room of the palace. Whatever the emperor eats, he eats with him. The taste is naturally very good, but this kind of person can be easily subdued by Huang Rong, which shows how superb this woman's craftsmanship is. Tell me about this. I'm really hungry. Try it. Bai Su took a sip of the good soup with a spoon, and felt that his mouth was fragrant and refreshed. When paired with a jade flute, who would listen to Luome? Every bite is a brand new taste. It is an ultimate in life enjoy. Ding! Since you've taken Hao Kui Tang, mana regenerates twice as fast when not in combat. Ding! Since you are taking Yudi, the magic value will be temporarily increased by 300 points, and the duration will be 180 seconds. Ding! Since you take 24 Bridges Bright Moon Night, the damage is temporarily increased by 20 points, and the duration is 180 seconds. Absolutely, the hands of mortals actually made magical food. It is estimated that even Huang Rong herself does not know how strong her talent is. Only by systematically monitoring his combat power data can he obtain this kind of information. He unknowingly finished all 3 dishes, and he was still complacent. By the way, what did Mrs. Guo just say? Want to know her future. But her future is really a bit terrible. After the city of Xiangyang was destroyed, Guo Jing and his wife both died in battle. Chapter 62 Medusa. Is Du Huang Peak qualified enough? Guo Jing and his wife stayed in Xiangyang City for decades, preventing the Mongolian army from going south, protecting the people on one side, and winning precious time for Nan Song to recuperate. But the ending of the two was not perfect, and it could even be said to be tragic. They both died in the battle to defend Xiangyang, and even their only son Guo Kolu died in this battle. Bai Su, Mrs. Guo. About your future, I'll tell you after the battlefield mission is over. As soon as he ate something from someone else, he immediately said such cruel things. Bai Su felt a little speechless. Huang Rong's voice sounded very young. It should be a matter of many years to protect Xiangyang, so why bother? In the chat group, you can get valuable opportunities to improve yourself. If Huang Rong seizes some opportunities, maybe he can turn a carp into a dragon. By then, no one in the eagle shooting world can hurt her. Mrs. Guo, Wronger is too impatient. I wish the group leader Gaizan's return. After Huang Rong heard Bai Su's words, her heart thumped, and she had a bad premonition, but she didn't show it. Currently, the adventure team is going through a severe test, which is a war that is doomed. If they fail, the fate of Whitebeard and Ace. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, Sister Huang Rong, you don't need to listen to the group leader's flickering. I suspect that he used to guess. This thing works sometimes, and the stability is too bad. And Izumi Sagiri. Oh my god, Tony came out to die again. I really admire his courage. If it weren't for the preciousness of the World Breaker talisman, the group leader would probably have visited you long ago. Chasing 10 school beauties this year. Let's stay away from Tony, blood will splatter on us. Tony is going all the way. ... Tony Stark appeared in the show again, and there were endless tricks of death, but this time Baisu didn't seem to be angry. Baisu, the prophecy of this group leader has not gone wrong. In our group, only the world where Izumi Sagiri lives is the least dangerous. Tony, you are not very lucky, and you will meet one after another in the future. There is even a purple sweet potato essence in outer space. A snap of your fingers can destroy half of the creatures in the universe. Guess which half you are in? Stain. If I were you, I'd just dig a hole and bury myself to save the pain later. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. Tony's hands fell to the ground again, and a bottle of tens of thousands of dollars of wine instantly became bitter and unpalatable. Are these things true? No, I didn't do anything wrong, just a little high profile, admitting in front of the media that I am Iron Man. Is it necessary to come to the door one by one? Or what about the purple sweet potato essence in outer space? What is a snap of your fingers to destroy half of the universe? You man, tell the story clearly. Ding. With the body of a mortal, he was banned from speaking for a day on par with gods. And Izumi Sagiri, sure enough, my world is the most ordinary. I really envy Tony, and I will play with purple sweet potato in the future. Remember to cheer up. Owner of Butterfly House, a snap of your fingers to destroy a creature in half the universe. The boss of Tony's boss world is really unusual. I suggest you continue to be a playboy and play for a day to earn a day, isn't it? Chasing 10 school beauties this year. Fast forward to Big Tony and Zishu Jing playing boxing. 2 snaps of fingers, it is estimated that there will be no one in the universe. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. Before Tony could speak, a group of system messages came, which directly cut off his delusional thoughts. Ding. With the body of a mortal, he was banned from speaking for a day on par with gods. Dog owner, what kind of skill is it to play with? You have the skill to fight with Lao Su. Tony Stark was so uncomfortable that he vomited blood. Life should have been beautiful. Tonight, Pepper agreed to his request to have dinner with him. He became a superhero with all his heart, but the future of this universe seems to be accelerating towards darkness. Baisu, at present, only the elves of time have signed up for the adventure team. It seems that only the 4 of us can participate in this mission. The other 3 are me, Whitebeard, and Jay Shaolun. After participating in the battlefield mission, you can get reward points. Points are valuable currency in our chat group. You can buy services such as Enlightenment and Dao Furnace. In the future, the mall will become more abundant. In addition to the breaker, there are more things you need. At present, the Dao Enlightenment function and the Dao Furnace function of the system are being gradually opened to every group member. If you are lucky once, you can save 10 years of hard work. The value is unimaginable. However, the price of these functions is also very expensive. Will feel distressed, not to mention other members of the group. Queen Medusa, wait, I want to ask, is Du Huang Peak qualified to participate in this battle? At this moment, a cold voice sounded, with a condescending attitude, which is inherent nobility. The pinnacle of Du Huang, are you the queen of the Tager Desert Snake tribe? Baisu was stunned for a moment, and instantly guessed the identity of the other party. Originally, he thought Medusa was the one from Western mythology. Of the Jama Empire, Queen Medusa, whose flamboyant and fierce reputation shocked the Do-Chi continent, relying on the cultivation of Do Huang's pinnacle, she was stunned. The top 10 masters of the Jama Empire are in a mess. Medusa, I'm not yet the queen of the Snake Men tribe. The big Matsuri said that the Snake Men tribe can only have one queen, and I want my sister Dai to inherit. By the way, it seems that you do have the ability to predict the future. After the battlefield mission is over, can you tell my sister's future? Do-Chi continent. Medusa's face has reached a coquettish level, with a pair of long and narrow lavender pupils, and her eyes are so charming that she can almost suck the eyes of every man away. She was dressed in a graceful purple brocade robe, and the delicate body under the brocade robe exuded a touch of charm, a head of 3,000 blue silk, casually draped from the fragrant shoulders, vertically between the slender willow waist, and there under the brocade robe, a purple snake tail was exposed, and the snake tail VV swayed, a wild and enchanting attraction, which made people feel a little hot all over for no reason. "Sister, you haven't slept yet, what are you thinking about?" At this time, a woman with an equally exquisite appearance still held Medusa's slender waist from behind, and placed her chin on the other's shoulder. The two long snake tails were close together, which made people imagine. It's no wonder that the snake people in this world will become the object of the strong pursuit. A snake made with a decent appearance can often be sold for a sky-high price, and it really has its own uniqueness. Chapter 63 Song of the Sands. P.S. There is not enough time. This chapter needs to be revised, please watch it tomorrow. It's nothing, I'm thinking of something very interesting. Go to bed early. Medusa took her sister's jade hand and glanced at her dotingly. This generation of snake queens are twins, and they are all extremely powerful. Butterfly has a talent for space and is born with a longing for freedom, while Medusa has a more calm personality. No, we haven't slept together for a long time. I want you to sleep with me in your arms. Dai is already an adult, but still acts like a child. The two women are fighting in the Grand Palace, but the guards around them dare not turn their heads to look at them, because this is their king. Hokage World. Baisu determined the other party's timeline with the news that Medusa took the initiative to disclose. The snake tribe should have two Duzong powerhouses, but the big Matsuri kept the rules and insisted that the two sisters kill each other, and finally the death of the butterfly ended. Medusa's current thinking is a bit naive. She seems to think that as long as she gives up all her rights, she can guarantee her sister's position as queen, but she forgot that Dai is an elf who yearns for freedom, and Dai loves her a lot. Baisu, Duhuang Peak is fully qualified to join our adventure team, but Medusa. Your sister did not become the queen. He sighed lightly. In comparison, the fate of Medusa's sister was too miserable. The pursuit of freedom has to pay a price, and sometimes this price is life. Ding! The group owner Subai uploaded the memory copy, Song of the Sands, please pay attention to check it. Medusa accepts group files. Uncle Ying accepted the group file. This year, Chasing 10 School Flowers accepted group documents. The owner of Butterfly House received the group file. With the body of a mortal, the gods received the group documents. And Izumi Sagiri accepted the file. Jin Yichuan accepted the document. Medusa didn't expect Baisu to tell her the future directly. She immersed herself in it and saw the future fate of the queen of the snake people. A pair of sisters who were like glue, but because of the pedantic clan rules, eventually went to the extremes of life and death. Dai loves her a lot. When she saw her sister put the shackles on her body and gave her the crown, her heart was almost broken. Sister, I'm sorry for worrying you again. But this time, please be proud of me, because I have finally become my true self. A free butterfly dies in the wind and finally lies in her arms. No. Medusa's phoenix eyes widened and she sat up abruptly from the exquisite golden bed. Her body was filled with an astonishing murderous aura. Sister, what's wrong with you? A woman whose appearance was not inferior to Medusa sat up from the side, lying softly on Medusa's back. The two of them were identical twin sisters. Her name was Dai, and she was born with control ability. Butterfly yearned for freedom all her life, but unfortunately she paid the price of her life in the original plot and only got a few days of freedom. Sister. I swear, I will never let anyone hurt you, not even Big Matsuri. Buddhas stop Buddhas, gods stop gods. Medusa hugged her sister into her arms, and there were tears on her face. Butterfly is her only relative, is she destined to die in her arms? No, the prophecy must not be fulfilled. Since Subai possesses the mighty power of a creator, he can sleepwalk through 3,000 worlds and see the future through, so he can definitely change his own destiny. She secretly made up her mind to earn points through her own efforts. There are so many treasures in the dimensional chat group. If her strength can break through in the near future, she will be able to protect her sister from being bullied by others. Okay, sister, what nonsense are you talking about? Wouldn't it be bad if the big Matsuri heard it? Don't think about it, let's rest now. Although Dai didn't know why her elder sister Kaylin said those words, but she is a delicate person, she just comforted her elder sister not to think too much. Okay, let's rest. Medusa nodded, and now she must be strong and work hard to grow. At present, the final version of the list has been determined, please prepare for it. The strongest man in the world, Gulaulala. Thank you very much for your willingness to help my son. I have prepared a good rum for everyone. Let Marine experience the horror of the adventure team. Chasing 10 school beauties this year. I didn't expect that a college student of mine would also participate in this kind of battle. Master Baisu said that I have awakened 3 generations of divine bodies, and no one in the pirate world can kill me. I will try my best. In the super god universe, the god body is divided into 5 generations. A generation of divine bodies is the most fundamental difference between ordinary humans and super warriors. The divine bodies of this level are only a little stronger than ordinary people. The most typical example is Chi-Rin. The original Kamigawa gene can only protect her from being injured by ordinary bullets, and basically has no defense against god-killing weapons. Second-generation gods. The genes at this stage allow them to be immune to damage caused by conventional weapons, and also have a certain resistance to god-killing weapons. It is already a terrifying defensive power to be immortalized by a single shot. People with 3 generations of divine bodies can get rid of the limit of physical death and rely on energy to maintain life. Even fatal damage to the body can be repaired through energy. Of course, this level is not an existence that cannot be killed, and flame-level weapons can hurt them. After reaching the 4th generation divine body, the flame-level weapon has no effect. The powerful healing ability can almost ignore any physical damage, and it will heal automatically anyway. A higher level means that it is more difficult to analyze. At this level, only the silver level weapons equipped by the Angel King can cause damage. The sacred body is an existence that surpasses the 4 generations of gods. At present, there are only 3 people in the entire known universe, namely Gai Sha, Hexi, and Yan. The power of the sacred body is that even if it is bombed into atoms, the surrounding environment can be restored to its original state immediately. From the perspective of specific effects, the strength is directly immortal and immortal. The spirit of time. Ah. Can I meet the group owner so soon? It's really exciting. The sacred body is an existence that surpasses the 4 generations of gods. At present, there are only 3 people in the entire known universe, namely Gai Sha, Hexi, and Yan. The power of the sacred body is that even if it is bombed into atoms, the surrounding environment can be restored to its original state immediately. From the perspective of specific effects, the strength is directly immortal and immortal. The spirit of time. Ah. Can I meet the group owner so soon? It's really exciting. Chapter 64 Roger's son. Ding. The adventure team was formed successfully. Battlefield mission. Top War. Mission objective. Rescue Fire Fist Ace and change the outcome of Whitebeard's death. Mission reward. 15,000 points, 200 random attribute points, and a random devil fruit. The 5 members of the adventure team will distribute rewards according to each person's contribution. If the contribution is less than 1%, the reward cannot be obtained. Failure penalty. None. Do you want to enable transmission? Yes. Teleport on. Destination, World of One Piece, King of Pirates, Marineford. Marineford, Marine Headquarters, one of the 3 forces of the Great Route. The stalwart castle is engraved with a seagull with a libra in its mouth, expelling evil under the name of absolute justice, and is considered to be a symbol of peace in the Age of Pirates. Today is the day of the execution. Marine started a worldwide live broadcast, Ace is the parent and son of the previous generation One Piece, King of Pirates. Marine wants to completely cut off the hope of the new era. Marshal Sengoku the Buddha, 3 Admiral, Shichibukai under the King, 16 Vice Admiral, plus 100,000 Marine elites. Today's Marine headquarters is a real dragon pool. Silence, like the moment before the storm, everyone is holding their breath, waiting for the enemy to come. You said, will the pirates really come to save people? The Marshal has summoned all of Marine's strength. I really can't believe that those pirates will provoke the majesty of Marine's headquarters for him. I think it's possible, to know that Whitebeard is one of the so-called 4 emperors, and Ace is his son, so he won't stand idly by. Cut. What the pirates say is for freedom and dreams. In fact, they are just selfish villains. Saving people at this time is like giving up death in vain. I believe that the 4 emperors are not so stupid. Marine is strictly disciplined, but there are still whispers in some corners. Many people feel that today is a bit of a fuss. Even if you give the pirates 100 courage, they will not dare to go to Marine headquarters to rob the magic field. Crash. A dull sound of shackles sounded in the dungeon. Ace wore ankle cuffs made of sea stone, bare upper body, walked out under the escort of 2 guards, and came to the execution platform. An army of 100,000 people moved from the 3 sun and moon-shaped bend to the whole island. 50 warships surrounded the place and set up thousands of heavy artillery. Ace seems so weak in front of this kind of power. Marine Marshal Sengoku the Buddha walked slowly to Ace and ordered, Ace, say your father's name. Ace's body trembled suddenly, and he seemed to be suppressing something in his heart. My father is Whitebeard. No, your father is, One Piece, King of Pirates, Gul D. Roger. Sengoku's voice was not loud, but it spread throughout the Marine headquarters. After hearing that name, 100,000 people fell silent at the same time. One Piece, King of Pirates Roger. The greatest pirate ever. Want my treasure? I can give you all of it if you want. Go and find it. I'll put all my treasure there. His words before his execution made people rush to the sea, and many pirates began to establish hegemony and compete for One Piece, thus forming the Great Pirate Era. The legendary One Piece, King of Pirates. I didn't expect to leave a child. Now he has grown up. First hope Marine will get justice. My husband and children died at the hands of the pirates. That is the seed of the devil, it must be beheaded, and there must be no mercy. People all over the world are watching this live broadcast, and when Sengoku mentions the long-standing name, it also changes the fear in people's hearts. If Roger hadn't surrendered himself, Marine would have no way to take him. The title of One Piece, King of Pirates is too sensitive. Ace has always hated his father, because his father's name did not bring him any honor, but made him live a life of displacement for the first half of his life. People chase. In fact, as long as he proves his identity and raises his arms, he can form an extremely powerful pirate group, because many of the people who followed One Piece, King of Pirates Roger were still alive. Execution. Sengoku waved his hand, and the 2 executioners pulled out the long knives in their hands. Just as they were about to do it, countless bubbles began to appear in the bay in the Marine headquarters. This vision reminded Sengoku of something, and his face suddenly became very serious. Ugly. Sure enough, it didn't take long for the ship of the Whitebeard pirates to appear in front of Marine, and the Moby Dick flew directly. Of course, the pirate world is not without ships that can fly, but the Moby Dick should not have this ability. There are at least 3 pirate ships in the world that have the ability to fly. The Ark of Sky Island Enel, the origin of its flight is the thunder fruit from Enel, which uses electrical energy to create the power of flight. Golden Lion's pirate ship. Golden Lion has the ability to float fruit, and objects touched by it can fly in the air, so Golden Lion uses the ability to make it fly in the sky. In fact, this ship is not special, especially the fluttering fruit ability of Golden Lion. The last one is the pirate ship Cheniang of the Straw Hat Pirates. The Cheniang is called the Dream Ship, built by Frankie. This ship is called an invincible ship by Jinbei, and its ability to fly is mainly from Frankie's black technology. It can fly 1 kilometer in the sky using the wind cannon. Boom, boom, boom. A burly giant walked to the front of the deck, holding a long knife called Kong Yunchi, which is called the 12 workers of the Supreme Great Sword, and the horned dragon-like muscles burst out with scars carved on it, symbolizing the brilliance of the title of the strongest man in the world. Gu la la la, Sengoku, is my son okay with you? He grinned, his white beard waving upward in a crescent moon exactly like the Moby Dick. Whitebeard. Sengoku's eyes became cautious. The other party is one of the ceilings of combat power in this world. Even if he suffers from 3 serious diseases, he can still shock the entire Marine headquarters. The captains of the Whitebeard pirates are all here. The difference is that there are a few more faces. They are not well known in the pirate world and are automatically ignored. Baisu, by the way, let's also start a live broadcast. Just to give some reference to the group members who are paddling in the water, what is the intensity of the battlefield mission? Ding! Baisu started the live broadcast. Uncle Ying enters the live room. Enter the live broadcast room with the body of a mortal, shoulder to shoulder with gods. The owner of Butterfly House enters the live room. Entering the live room with Izumi Sagiri. Jin Yichuan enters the live room. Chapter 65 The Top War is on. Baisu noticed the name Jin Yichuan, and it seemed that the new group member didn't say a word after he joined the group, and has been observing secretly. However, this name is too common, and he is busy performing tasks and ignores it. In addition to Jie Xiaolun, it was the first time he and several other members of the group met. Whitebeard was very imposing, standing there like a mountain that was insurmountable. Tokasaki Kurumi, wearing a dark blue school uniform with bangs covering one eye, greeted him with a smile. You must be Mr. Baisu, right? It's the first time we met, please give me more advice. On his left hand, there is an extremely coquettish beauty, wearing a purple gold crown on her head. The fierce clothes can only restrain the evil pair. The lower body is a long purple tail, and her temperament is cold. And Izumi Sagiri, wow. Is it ready to dry? I've got my popcorn ready. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, is this a live broadcast? I go. It's almost like being there. I can smell the fishy smell of the sea breeze. This kind of reality conversion technology is really awesome. Butterfly House owner. Be careful, in addition to the masters at Marine headquarters, Shichibukai under the king should not be underestimated. I hope everyone can return safely, and I will pray for you. The group members all knew when the battlefield mission started, so they pushed aside other things early, locked them in the room to watch the live broadcast, and even Uncle Ying joined in. Clanging. In Shichibukai's team, Hokage Mahawk suddenly took a step, the long sword in his hand let out a clear cry, and the fighting spirit was high. What's the matter? You've always been a conservative person, and you're so excited today. Doflamingo frowned and asked a little puzzled. Although Shichibukai is nominally submissive to Marine, they are all arrogant people and never feel that they are Marine's son-in-law. They should not go out and take the lead in such a scene. I just want to test how much the gap is with that man. Hawkeye has his own rules for doing things. Whitebeard is the ceiling of One Piece, King of Pirates. He has to test how strong he is. Who will block the first sword energy? Jie Xiaolun, why don't you try it out? Mahawk is the #1 swordsman in the pirate world, and he should be enough to be your opponent. Baisu shook hands with Tokasaki Kurumi and said to Jie Xiaolun with a smile. Boss, isn't it okay? I'm just here to fight Chan Oil. I don't even have a decent shield, so I use my head to block. Jie Xiaolun experienced this kind of battle for the first time, and he was terrified at first. He was frightened by Baisui, and his legs were shaking a little. I'm coming. At this moment, an icy voice sounded. Medusa actually took the initiative to take this work on her body. A pair of fiery Yuhi-colored wings appeared behind her, and a bow made of flames appeared in her hands. The terrifying grudge even shook the ocean. After she let go, a 1,000-meter-long fire snake appeared in the sky, opened its bloody mouth and bit it in the direction of the sword chi flying. Boom! Two energies of different attributes collided together and a big explosion occurred. Many Marines were injured in this shock wave, and even fell from the castle, while the Whitebeard pirates were not affected in any way. Just relying on one sword energy was like shaking one of the four emperors. The pirate group, Hokage is too naive to think. As expected of a powerhouse at the pinnacle of Duhuang, with your presence, the powerhouses of the Jamma Empire will have a headache. Baisu couldn't help but sighed in admiration. Medusa's queen's fan is too strong. One arrow blocked Hawkeye's sword chi, and the woman won't let the man. Oh my god, that was the attack of the world's #1 swordsman. Did you stop it so lightly? I really doubt my eyesight. What do you know? Those people are helpers that Dad personally invited from far away. Have you forgotten the golden portal when they arrived? Yes, yes. The breath of the golden portal is too terrifying. At first I thought it was the arrival of a god, but I didn't expect Dad to be so powerful. There is also a pair of Yuhi's wings behind it. Is this some kind of demon fruit of an phantom beast? It feels a bit like the first Captain Marco's ability. ... The members of the Whitebeard pirates talked a lot for a while. In the pirate world, fame and strength are often equal. Medusa is so powerful and her appearance is so gorgeous, how can they not guess the name? Mr. Baisu praised him badly. I feel that he has not done his best, and it would be difficult for me to deal with the 7 together. Marine headquarters surrounded by 100,000 legions. She did not have much fear in her heart. She joined the adventure team in pursuit of more powerful power, and she had to rely on her own strength to fight a bloody path. Baisu and Whitebeard looked at each other and nodded. Let's fight quickly. Ace, wait for me, I'll save you right away. Whitebeard stood the big sword beside him. His hands were empty. Something terrible happened. The space appeared like a cobweb of cracks. The sea let out an angry roar, setting off a huge wave thousands of feet high to raise the marine headquarters to the ground. Ice Age. Marine finally couldn't sit still. Kuzan jumped high and activated the ability of the ice fruit. Ice Age, which instantly froze Whitebeard's tsunami, and he could freeze the sea for a whole week. On the Matabis, Baisu and Tokasaki Kurumi looked at each other for more than a minute. Finally, little Loli couldn't help but ask, is there anything wrong with the group leader? I said, are you also here to fight Chan Oil? I remember your ability is range type. Once the Whitebeard pirates and Marine exchange fire, I will not allow you to collect time. Baisu really wanted to knock this Loli into a shudder, but this was the first group mission, and he didn't want to be so rude. Why, idle baggage is so tiring. Sir Baisu knows a lot. I find that I am more and more interested in you. A smile appeared at the corner of Tokasaki Kurumi's mouth, and the sea breeze blew through her bangs, revealing the golden clock in her pupils, looking mysterious and unusual. After she finished speaking, her clothes changed into a black and blood-colored gothic outfit, which was her spiritual outfit, Kamui's spiritual outfit Sanfin. Originally, she wanted to observe Baisu for a while, but it seemed that she had to work first. Allah, there are more than 100,000 people. Today is really a day of great harvest. City of Eating Time. A transparent barrier radiated frantically around Kurumi, covering the entire marine headquarters in a short time. The creatures in the barrier would be deprived of time by her, and would be under heavy pressure and their activities would be restricted. Chapter 66 Tokasaki Kurumi vs Kuzan_. This is. Kuzan felt like his body was stuck in a quagmire, and it took a lot of energy to move, and he could clearly feel that his time was slowly passing, and he would not be killed for the time being, but the longer the battle, the greater the disadvantage. Will be bigger. Wait, if Admiral has this obvious feeling, shouldn't the average Marine? He suddenly came back to his senses, and when he saw the reaction of the soldiers below, his face immediately became extremely blue, and the 100,000 Marines were disturbed at the same time. On the top stand of Marine headquarters, Admiral Akainu sat on the throne in an extremely arrogant posture, watching everything that happened under the stage indifferently. What the hell is Kuzan up to? Even a little girl can't handle it. What a disgrace to Marine Admiral's reputation. Don't underestimate the Whitebeard pirates. As one of the 4 emperors, their own strength is unfathomable, and now several new faces have suddenly appeared, and the strength is at least Vice Admiral level. This little girl's ability is probably already reached the Admiral level. Humph. Whitebeard is just an old man who has been eliminated by the times. If there is no storm, a group of pirates will inevitably turn into powder under the fist of justice. Tokasaki Kurumi felt that the power of time was gradually filling, and she made a voice of great enjoyment. In Tiangong City, she did not dare to shoot at 100,000 people at the same time. Mio Chanjia has been searching for her whereabouts, and her heart has not completely fallen, so she chose the prey they all come one by one, and choose those scumbags to start with. Came to the world of One Piece, King of Pirates, without the constraints of Mio Takamiya. Everything is different. This is a life and death war, the freedom and greed of pirates against the absolute justice of Marine, only the victor who survives with writing history. Little devil, don't be mad. Ice Age. As soon as Kuzan came out, he froze the tsunami created by Whitebeard, which boosted the morale of 100,000 Marines, but was stopped by a little girl in a blink of an eye, and he felt that his face was dull, and he did not leave behind Zizi, Uncle, who is too short-tempered and won't live long. 2 bullets. A materialized golden clock appeared behind Tokasaki Kurumi. At the same time, the golden clock in her left eye began to turn, and the power of time entered the revolver and fired a bullet at Kuzan. The way time flows will slow down if Kuzan gets hit. The whole body is full of flaws, the kid is just a kid after all. Kuzan dodged the bullet with a single dodge. When he reappeared, he was already behind Kurumi. With a light touch, Kurumi turned into an ice sculpture. When he stepped down, the ice sculpture was torn apart. This is starting to cut. Are you kidding me? Jie Shaolun's eyes changed from surprise to panic, which was too fast. If it was him who went up just now, would it be ice block now? Mrs. Guo, it's such a terrifying ice ability, it can easily freeze the sea. That little girl just now was so pitiful, at her age like a flower. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. I'm going, it's only been a few minutes, and the downsizing has occurred so quickly. What does the group owner eat? Is it okay? And Izumi Sagiri, the leader of the group. Ellipsis. When the group members were worried, there was a helpless smile on the corner of Baisus' mouth. This girl's bad taste is simply. Tokasaki Kurumi is a time spirit, an existence that can escape from the subordinates of Takamiya Mio many times. How could he be defeated so easily? Only Whitebeard and Medusa did not lose their composure, but looked at the sky seriously, as if they were waiting for something. Medusa, don't panic, I can feel that her breath has not disappeared, but has become stronger and stronger, it seems. Before she could finish her words, a mutation appeared in the sky. After Tokasaki Kurumi turned into an ice sculpture, a black hole appeared below, and countless white hands stretched out and pulled the ice sculpture into it. This scene looked very strange. Allah, as expected of Marine's Admiral, his strength is really good, it makes me excited. Familiar laughter sounded in all directions, and seeing the cynical smile on the face of the Gothic loli, the group members finally breathed a sigh of relief. I'm going to. A lot of Kurumi. Whoever catches up with this girl won't make a profit. 1 = hundreds. Jie Shaolun was already dazzled. He turned his fingers and found that he couldn't count it at all. There were constantly clones of Tokasaki Kurumi coming out of the black hole, each holding an exquisite revolver. What kind of fruit is this ability? Where did Whitebeard find such a tough opponent? A dignified look flashed in Kuzan's eyes. He had used his stunt twice, but the time-devouring barrier had not diminished at all. He felt that this would not be a battle that could end in a short time. 2 bullets. Hundreds of voices sounded at the same time. There are 100,000 Marines here to provide energy to Tokasaki Kurumi. Her time power is endless and can be squandered at will. Crap. Kuzan is not Admiral, who is famous for his movement skills. He barely escaped most of the bullets, but he was still hit by several bullets. Although he can still move now, his speed seems to be slowing down in the eyes of experts. An admiral should have a lot of time power. The game has just started, you have to hold on to Austria. The golden bell shadow in Tokusaki Kurumi's left eye became more and more prominent, like a cat playing a mouse, and raised the gun in his hand again. Kuzan is too slow, don't wait for him, continue the execution. It's just a group of pirates, don't have the guts to attack, just watch the show outside. Akainu waited impatiently, and signaled the two executioners to continue the execution. Today, Ace is bound by Seastone's ability, like a mortal. As long as the knife is dropped, a head will inevitably fall to the ground. Presumptuous. At this moment, a cold voice resounded throughout the sky, and a pair of ultimate beautiful flame wings appeared behind Medusa. She had been paying attention to the movement on the execution platform. Ace's death meant that the mission failed. It means that they come here in vain, and they can't get a single point. With the belief of gaining greater strength to give her younger sister the future, she filled the bow in her hand, turned the 3 arrow feathers into a fire snake of hundreds of meters, roared and rushed towards the execution platform, where nothing could stop her. The powerful fire attribute energy melted the city walls, and the two executioners turned into ashes without even humming. Boom! When the dust cleared, there were 3 more figures in front of Ace, Akainu, Kizaru, and Sengoku. Chapter 67 Man, Can't Say No. And Izumi Sagiri. Wow. The plot is getting more and more tense. I'm running out of popcorn, so let's fry another bag. Butterfly House Owner. Medusa is really strong. And Tokusaki Kurumi, the strength of the two is not inferior to Marine Admiral. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods. My dear, my blood is boiling. This must be rewarded. Ding! With the body of a mortal, the god of parody sent a lucky Yuhi bag. Up Yuhi bag with Izumi Sagiri. Uncle Ying received Yuhi bag. Up Yuhi bag with Izumi Sagiri. Jin Yichuan received the Yuhi bag. ... Standing on the deck of the Moby Dick, Baisu also clicked on the Yuhi bag out of curiosity. The next sound made him understand how self-willed a world leader is. Ding! Congratulations, you have obtained 2 kilograms of bricks. Tony Stark sent 10 Yuhi bags, a total of 20 kilograms of bricks. Is this the rhythm of smashing the group members with gold bricks? He still flipped through to get the record, and found that the king of luck turned out to be Jin Yichuan, the guy who got up and observed secretly after entering the group, without saying a word. And Izumi Sagiri. Wow. Thank you Tony, a Yuhi bag has paid for my manuscript for a year. Butterfly House Owner. Tony deserves to be the richest man. Gold bricks are also hard currency in my world. I used them to buy supplies for the Ghost Slayer. ... Baisu didn't read the chat message that followed, because the situation on the field had changed drastically. The 3 admirals came off the court at the same time. Shichibukai was also aroused bloody, and wanted to fight heartily. Sengoku and Garp stayed on the execution stand, and 2 new executioners came up with big knives. Their tight muscles betrayed themselves, but for the absolute justice in their hearts, they must be in front of the whole world. Cut off Ace's head. If you are a pirate, it's up to you to decide what to believe. If you want to follow me, give up your life and follow me. Whitebeard started desperately. He jumped off the deck with Kong Yunchi in his hand, and slashed in midair. The ability to shake the fruit was activated, causing a strong earthquake, and a straight crack spread directly under the execution platform. Only those who stand at the top can rewrite good and evil. Justice will prevail. It is inevitable, only the winner is justice. Doflamingo burst into the center of the war with a wild laugh. Ordinary pirates could hardly last a round in his hands. He was described as a fire of evil. He had a very vague concept of good and evil, and believed that only the victor could decide everything. Little girl, it's too dangerous to be alone outside, aren't your parents worried? Kizaru joined the sky battlefield with a sarcastic tone. Tokisaki Kurumi's flash-like speed increased the pressure, and the number of clones continued to decrease. He is a Logia glint fruit capable, with powerful swordsmanship, kicking skills, and shooting abilities, even at any place. It doesn't seem to be affected much in the enchantment of the City of Eating Time. Whitebeard and Medusa were also stopped. The number of enemies was several times larger. No matter how powerful they were, at the current speed, it was impossible to save Ace. There are only 2 people left on the deck, one is Baisu and the other is Jay Shaolun. Brother Bai, don't stare at me like that, what's the matter with you? Jay Shaolun scratched his head. In front of a group of people who could fly and escape, he really didn't know how to behave. He had only fought with gangsters at most in his life. Where has he experienced such a thing? Shaolun, I have high hopes for you. You see that Whitebeard is so old and he is at the forefront. Are you embarrassed to watch from behind? Can you do it? Baisu patted Jay Shaolun on the shoulder and asked earnestly. Before Jay Shaolun could answer, he interrupted again. I tell you, man, you can't say no at any time. Brother Bai, what do you want me to do, tell me. Jay Shaolun was young after all, and he had already left his own safety behind when he was shocked by Baisu's words. I don't have any other strengths, just tough enough. Have you seen the uncle with frog eyes on the execution platform? Just blow his head and kill him. You are the biggest hero in this war. Baisu stuffed a big sword into Jay Shaolun's arms, then pointed at Sengoku and said. The eyesight of the owner of the super gene is naturally extraordinary. After Jay Shaolun saw Sengoku clearly, he nodded dazedly. He only read the memory copy of the war on top of it. Although he felt that the uncle was a bit familiar, how did he remember his specific strength? Not clear. Jay Shaolun, okay, Brother Bai. But how can I get there so far? Even Father Whitebeard was blocked. Baisu, it's okay, I'll take you there. Thank you Bai. Brother Bai, help. Before Jay Shaolun could react, he was lifted by Baisu with one hand, and then he was fired from the deck like a cannonball, directly crossing the blockade of 100,000 Marines, and smashed straight at Sengoku like a meteor. And Izumi Sagiri, oh my god. How could Jay Shaolun fly? I was watching Sister Medusa fight just now, did you notice? Mrs. Guo, it seems that the group owner threw it. And Izumi Sagiri. The execution platform, Sengoku was instructing the 2 executioners to move faster, and suddenly found a fierce murderous intent flying towards him, and when he raised his head, he was also taken aback. What is this? I'm fucking brainless. Jay Shaolun could hardly open his eyes during the flight, but he still remembered Baisu's order, so he turned his heart away and smashed it down with the big sword in his hand. His name in the 3 major god-building projects is, the sword that cuts through fear, the power of the Silver River. Although the current super genes have not been developed to perfection, and there is no weapon in hand, this power is not ordinary people can bearable. Boom. Sengoku was caught off guard and was blasted directly to the ground. The entire torture platform fell apart, but fortunately, Ace was not affected. I'm going to scare me to death. Are you okay? I didn't mean to. Jay Shaolun's great sword was cut off, and the weapon that can withstand the power of the Silver River must be at least at the level of the Scorching Sun. He has not yet transitioned from a student to a might warrior. The first thing that comes to mind when he gets up is an apology. It's okay not to apologize. Sengoku spit out a mouthful of blood as soon as he heard this sentence, and then apologized after hitting it like this. What's this called? P.S. Thanks to Love You, I love for the monthly pass. Thank you Jalb71k for the monthly pass. Thank you Chungyang Lianyang GH for the monthly pass. Chapter 68. Finally it's my turn to play X. The power of the Silver River, a super gene owner, does not need to be cultivated deliberately in the early stage. The indestructible divine body is the most powerful weapon. He can even sink a space battleship with the power of his flesh. Sengoku was hit so hard by the blow just now that he couldn't fight back right away. This brother, are you the helper invited by Dad? Can you help me untie the shackles? Seeing Jay Xiaolun's amazing destructive power, Ace's eyes flashed eagerly, and he couldn't help but ask. Oh, by the way, this war mission is over as long as it saves you. I'm Whitebeard's comrade in arms. I'm coming to rescue you right away, please bear with me. Jay Xiaolun scratched the back of his head, and finally remembered his own business. The seastone handcuffs that could restrain Ace were directly torn to pieces by him. At this moment, Ace is free again. Fire Fist! Ace shouted excitedly, turned his arm into a huge flame with extremely high temperature, and punched out a sea of fire, knocking down all the marine soldiers who rushed up. Thank you, brother, I'll go and help Dad first, get out of here. Ace was concerned about the safety of Whitebeard, and he hurried to the center of the battlefield after exhorting Jay Xiaolun. Whitebeard was being besieged there. Akainu used his milk-feeding energy to launch a storm-like attack on Whitebeard. Every move was full of energy. Killer. Dai Enkai. Entei. This is Ace's strongest move. He first creates several circles of huge spiral flames and releases Dai Enkai, and then releases Dai Enkai, through his body. Cleared the battlefield in front of Whitebeard. Damn guy. Akainu hates being interrupted in battle. He especially hates Ace, the son of the previous generation One Piece King of Pirates. This sinful seed must not be allowed to live. On the execution ground, Jay Xiaolun was just watching Ace's whereabouts, but he didn't notice that the danger had come quietly. Little devil, this is not the place you should come. How dare you ignore Marine's majesty and make a fool of yourself, let the old man teach you a lesson. The Iron Fist of Love. At this moment, a mighty figure unknowingly appeared behind Jay Xiaolun. The person who came was a tall, muscular old man with a broad chest and a scar on his left eye. With short gray hair and a marine justice cape. Fuck me, who are you? Jay Xiaolun is obviously a college student, and it must be unpleasant to be called a kid, but when he turned around, he found a fist bigger than a casserole constantly expanding in front of him. Boom! A meteor streaked, and disappeared in the sky in the blink of an eye. And Izumi Sagiri, my god. Jay Xiaolun is flying again, this is too happy. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, what is this kid's body made of? It is much harder than my alloy armor. Our group is simply a gathering place for monsters. Uncle Yang, don't say that, I'm just an ordinary person. I've seen the memory copy uploaded by the group owner. I think your future achievements are limitless. Maybe you can really match the gods. Mrs. Guo, ordinary people +1. And Izumi Sagiri, who is weaker than popular now. I'm the one who doesn't even know martial arts, but only draws, okay. On Moby Dick's deck, Baisu frowned for the first time, and the hero Garp shot. Monkey D. Garp, who smashed Jay Xiaolun with one punch just now, is a very special existence in Marine. Although his position is only Vice Admiral, his strength is firmly above Admiral. 38 years ago, alone in the Valley of the Gods, he blocked the attack of the Rocks pirates that no one could stop, and joined forces with Roger to destroy the entire pirates, known as the Marine Hero. King of Pirates Roger is cornered. 30 years ago, he played against Qinzhao, the pirate leader who offered a bounty of more than 500 million at the time, and dented his proud cone head. Knowing that Roger was arrested by Marine, the Golden Lion Shiki, one of the 3 legendary pirates, invaded Marine headquarters with only one person. Garp and Sengoku joined forces to stop him and capture him alive. Under such a brilliant record, Garp has another layer of identity. He is a member of the D family. Son Monkey D. Long is the leader of the rebel army. Grandson Monkey D. Luffy is determined to be One Piece, King of Pirates. Portgas D. Ace also joined the Whitebeard Pirates. But what is strange is that Marine clearly knew his identity, but he did not have any changes to him. Instead, he repeatedly invited him to be selected for Marine Admiral, but he refused. Baisu didn't expect Garp to shoot at such a critical time. After all, in the original plot, Garp was knocked down by Luffy, and the water he put in could drown the entire Marineford. Finally it's my turn to play X. This battlefield mission has basically achieved the purpose of training troops. Not only strong players like Whitebeard, but also newcomers such as Jay Shaolun have given me a lot of surprises. The adventure team has a bright future. He checked the contributions of Jay Shaolun and others, and they all met the requirements of the task. This time the battlefield tasks are allocated according to their contribution. If he took all the 15,000 points by himself, it would be too ugly to look at. He should be more give the group a chance. After all, it was the first battlefield mission, and he didn't want to fail because of Toda. Their arrival seemed to have caused some kind of invisible change, leading Garp the Fist to play in person. With the strength of Sengoku and Garp the Fist, he could easily kill I Stupid. It's almost too late for most of the group members to react. I wanted to test my strength before, but I didn't have the chance. Hey, Whitebeard, do you mind messing up your world a bit? Sage mode. Baisu gave a clear drink, and the terrifying chakra radiated tens of thousands of meters with himself as the center. The 100,000 marine seemed to be petrified and stopped at the same time. When he saw the figure on the deck, he felt fear from the bottom of his heart. Conqueror Haki, can it shock an army of 100,000? The hero Garp helped Sengoku up, a dignified look flashed in his eyes. He knew that Haki was enough to cause abnormal weather, but he had never heard of any Haki who could suffocate 100,000 well-trained marines at the same time. Where did Whitebeard invite these masters? At least the level of the 4 emperors. Garp. Sengoku implements Kun's righteousness in the world. He is the highest authority in marine, and he believes in the orders of Jungfu from a young age. Those who disobey the government's orders are not marine. Stubborn thinking is his philosophy of action. He knows that he can no longer control the outcome of this war with his own strength. Over there. Chapter 69 Senpo, Sage Art. Planetary Devastation. I see. Garp nodded cautiously. Although he is a member of the D family, he recognizes Marine's absolute justice. In any case, he will not allow a little-known kid to snatch Ace from the Marine headquarters. All pirates obey orders. Retreat for me. When Whitebeard saw that Ace was rescued, he let out an earth-shattering roar. He vowed not to let history repeat itself. This time, he stood behind Ace himself, blocking every admiral who came after him for his sons. As a big man who stood at the apex of the era of the great pirates and shocked the world, he lived in the same era as One Piece, king of pirates, and stood at the apex of the era of the great pirates. The pirate group he leads is one of the largest large-scale pirate groups in the Great Channel, and more than 40 pirate groups have joined his banner. He will not allow others to hurt his partners, and he will call his subordinates and his pirates his sons, and love them very much. Dad, let's go together. Ace is also a man who values love and righteousness. He has a king's aptitude that stands above others, and has a conqueror. He can shock or stun the enemy with his spirit. Ordinary marine is simply injured. Not even an inch of him. Conqueror can be controlled freely, but it cannot be strengthened by exercise. It can only be strengthened by the user's own growth. It's a pity that the good times are over so soon. I'll come to this world if I have a chance. Remember to provide me with more time power. Tokisaki Kurumi put away the barrier and flew back contentedly. She had swallowed too much time power this time and could digest it for a while. She looked at Baisu on the deck. A flash of Yuhi's dizziness flashed on her cheeks. This sick girl felt the extremely terrifying power of time, because Baisu was in the system, and there was a temperament that surpassed everything in the world. It can only be said that this sick girl has become even more wrong. No one can leave, I'll stay with me. Big Buddha form. Sengoku eats human fruit, gets the power, wisdom, and spirit like a Buddha, a huge body like a Buddha, combined with clever mind and perfect skills, making himself the ultimate person with both mind and body skills. The Big Buddha form is a powerful form in human fruit, turning into a huge golden Buddha statue hundreds of meters high, which can send out a powerful shock wave. His appearance once again gave Marine a huge spiritual boost, and the remaining Marines roared towards the Whitebeard pirates launched a frantic counterattack. Fistbone Meteor Group. Garp threw artillery shells on the battlefield continuously, like meteors hitting the pirates. Many shells hit the deck of the Moby Dick across the distance of half the city, but they were blocked by an inexplicable force and stagnated in midair. Is this the full version of Sage Mode? Golden Chakra. Same as Six Paths Mode. Baisu is experiencing new powers, and in the world of Hokage, there is no suitable opponent and venue to experiment with these moves, but in the world of One Piece King of Pirates, he can let go. Almighty Push. He pushed with one hand, and the cannonball suspended in midair was shot back at several times the speed, causing Marine to cry. Senpo, Sage Art. Planetary Devastation. Planetary Devastation is one of Rinnegan's abilities, and Baisu continued to use Sage Art Chakra to bless this technique. When he threw the black light ball in his hand over Marineford, the terrifying attraction caused the ground to crack, and he was continuously sucked into the air. Go up to the sky and form a floating sphere similar to a huge meteorite. What is this? Admirals, including Akainu, felt this terrifying attraction. Their abilities could not compete with Senpo, Sage Art at all, and were directly attracted to the inside of the sphere, causing them to lose their ability to move under the action of gravity. And Izumi Sagiri, my god. It's getting bigger and bigger, the group owner is so awesome. Mrs. Guo. Butterfly House Owner. Uncle Ying. By the time the Whitebeard pirates retreated, the entire Marineford had ceased to exist. Marine's admiral except Garp was sucked into the sphere, and the survivors watched the swelling and rising sphere and couldn't do anything. The attraction of terror has not weakened, but it has increased as the sphere becomes larger, and even the land under the sea is attracted. Crap, it seems like a big game, and it's a hassle to stop now. Baisu released the Sage Mode. He found that the chakra was half empty. The disadvantage of this skill is that it cannot be stopped at will, unless he uses another ability of Rinnegan to summon a complete Susanoo and cut it with absolute power. Open. Brother Bai, when will the ball you made fall? Should we stay farther away? Jay Shaolun was punched by Garp and his throat was a little sweet, but it was no big deal. After going through this war, he finally understood where his advantage was: super resistance to beating. Probably, it won't fall, and eventually it will turn into a satellite, spinning around the periphery of the world of One Piece King of Pirates. Baisu blinked. The Six Paths Sage and Otsutsuki Hagoromo used this trick to seal up their mother Otsutsuki Kagaya. After an unknown number of years, it has become a planet called the Moon. Is this the power of the group leader? The members of the group were all amazed in their hearts. It was the first time they saw Baisu take a shot and hit a moon with a single blow. It was a means of luck. And Izumi Sagiri, Group Master V587. Butterfly House Owner, Master V587. Uncle Ying, Group Master V587. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, cut. Brag, I don't believe it doesn't fall. Ding, with the body of a mortal, he was banned from speaking for 12 hours on par with gods. Whitebeard, thank you very much for coming to help our father and son. I promise to give each of you a devil fruit. I will keep this in my heart and send it to everyone as soon as it is suitable. With the voyage of the Moby Dick, Baisu also received a prompt message from the system. Ding! Congratulations to the host for leading the adventure team to pass the test of the battlefield mission and get 10,000 points reward. A shocking fruit. Shocking fruit. Doesn't it mean that there will not be two devil fruits in the pirate world in the same era? Could it be that the system can prevent this from happening? 10,000 points. This reward is not bad. He is too short of points to draw things now. Chapter 70 The End of Blackbeard. The reward for the top war mission is 15,000 points in total. After Baisus shot, the result is 10,000 points exclusively, and the distribution of the remaining 5,000 points is 1,500 Whitebeard points. Tokusaki Kurumi 1,500 points. Medusa 1000 points. Jie Shaolun has 1000 points. ... Short time, planetary devastation rose to the outside of the planet, and the marine headquarters completely disappeared, replaced by rock slabs under the endless seafloor, floating on the sea, and the surviving marines were desperately moving closer to it. Why do pirates have such terrifying power? Has justice failed? The hero Garp fell to one knee on the ground. This result was something he never expected. How could Whitebeard invite a master at the level of the four emperors? And that young man whose whole body was bathed in golden energy. This figure will become his nightmare for the rest of his life. There seems to be another omission. Is it necessary for this person to live? When everyone returned to the deck, Baisu suddenly turned around. In the direction he could see, besides the ordinary marine, there was only a big man named Garp. The hero Garp is an opponent who is admired by all enemies. He is an opponent and a friend of the previous generation One Piece King of Pirates. It is precisely because he does not hesitate to violate the rules that Ace can survive. Master Group Owner, please let Garp go. He is in that position and can't help himself. Whitebeard groaned in his heart. With the strength of the group leader, as long as he had the will to kill, Garp would not be able to survive. He thought that Baisu was deliberately letting him go, but he didn't expect to say these words suddenly. No, I said it's not Garp, but another guy, can't you see it? It's much darker than other areas, and the hidden ability of the dark fruit is really good. Baisu sneered, everything in this world is transparent under Rinnegan, and the supreme pupil technique of the Hokage world is equally applicable in this world. You're talking about dark fruit. When Ace heard this name, his aura changed immediately. Even though he had experienced a brutal war, he had used up most of his strength, and the conqueror Haki still caused waves of thunder and lightning. Teach, get out of here. You have violated the only iron law of the Whitebeard pirates. You must give Thatch an account. As soon as Whitebeard's voice fell, there was a change in front of him. A cloud of dark water rose up from the cracks in the rocks and turned into a rough-looking, burly middle-aged man. He was the initiator of the war on the top, Marshal D. Teach. Ziahahaha, long time no see, Daddy. It's a shame you didn't die at Marine HQ. But sooner or later I'll be One Piece King of Pirates, and I'll take your life before that. Teach lost a few Kiba teeth in his mouth. When he laughed, he always said the word, thief, first. It turned out that he was a member of the 2nd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. In order to capture the dark fruit, he killed the 4th of the Whitebeard Pirates. The squad leader Thatch, and then officially became one of the King's Shichibukai after defeating Ace. But this time he did not show up in the top battle, but hid in secret and waited for an opportunity. He thought that Whitebeard and Marine Headquarters would lose both, and then he would jump out to take advantage of the fishermen and annex Marine Headquarters and Whitebeard's territory at the same time. Unexpectedly, the person invited by Father Whitebeard was so powerful that the Marine Headquarters was wiped out in one move. He hid and prepared to escape, but was found out again. You bloody traitor, I must make you pay. Ace is still as impulsive as before. For the sake of his brother, even in the face of an enemy stronger than himself, he will fight to the end. Stop it, I'll handle this matter myself, and the others don't have to intervene. Teach, give me death to atone for my sins. Whitebeard reached out and stopped Ace. He had already seen the memory copy uploaded by Baisu, so how could a similar plot be repeated? He jumped high from the deck, concentrated the power of the Junjun fruit on his right fist, and hit Teach's head with the momentum of Taishan pressing the top, but Teach didn't hide at all, and was arrogant enough to use his hands to force it. An earth-shattering attack. Ziahahaha, it's useless, I can absorb all the powers of Devil Fruit, you are just an ordinary person in front of me. Dad, people's dreams will never end, be my stepping stone to One Piece King of Pirates. Teach's hands turn black, and his body emits black smoke. His dark fruit can inhale, compress and smash all things that come into contact with the dark. Those who touch the ability with hands can temporarily lose their superpowers regardless of their species. Sure enough, the expected earthquake did not occur, and Teach took the blow safely. He was extremely arrogant on the surface, but he was actually procrastinating to find a way to save him. Now he is not afraid of Whitebeard, but he is a little skeptical about the strange young man standing on the deck. If the other party comes again with planetary devastation, even the dark fruit can't save him. And Izumi Sagiri, damn it. Father Whitebeard's attack is really being followed. The group leader, hurry up and help. I don't want to interfere in other people's family affairs. Whitebeard is more than enough to deal with Teach. You don't have to worry about it. Although Baisu said this in the chat group, he quietly used demonic illusion. After all, Whitebeard is old and seriously ill. Even if he overdraws his life and wins Teach, it will not be worth the loss. Tsukuyomi. The Teach man was in a battle of life and death, but in a second he suddenly found that the surrounding space had changed. He came to a strange world, was tied to the Jinchuriki column and was tortured by a gangster. What the hell is going on? Teach saw a pair of emotionless eyes in the sky. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't escape. It was his destiny to meet Baisu, and his life was destined to end today. Boom. The newly appeared rock plate was shaken to pieces, controlled by demonic illusion and unable to use the fruit ability, and was hit by Whitebeard's full blow. Blackbeard Teach was removed from this world forever. Many Marines were implicated and fell into the sea again, but this time no one dared to resist. The tide is over, and even the hero Garp has lost his fighting spirit. What else are they tossing about? After leaving the Marine headquarters, the Whitebeard pirates had a grand celebration. The members of the adventure team all sat at the same table. This time they won a big victory and rescued Ace. Whitebeard filled everyone with wine. Come, for the great victory, for the group leader, let's toast. Whitebeard picked up the sea bowl and drank it. The others looked at the bowl that was more than half a meter high and fell into contemplation. Chapter 71 Celebration Feast. Jay Shaolun. Brother Bai, don't you have a job with Father Whitebeard? Baisu. Bai is very good at drinking. Shaolun, you toast Whitebeard on my behalf. Jay Shaolun. According to Baisus teaching at the beginning, men can't say no, but the problem is that this sea bowl is bigger than a pot, and it can swim in it. How to drink it? He is the power of the Silver River, but there is no special optimization for drinking in the Super Gene. Whitebeard, I'll give you a toast for the group leader. A cold voice sounded, and no one thought that Medusa would speak at this time. She raised the sea bowl, which was seriously inconsistent with her body shape, with her slender hands, and drank it happily. She is the queen of the snake tribe born in the Great Desert. Their tribal style is rough, they are straightforward, and they are similar to pirates. Goo__not. Whitebeard put down the wine bowl and let out a hearty laugh. He was drinking fluids while he was drinking. In fact, his health was already very poor. After this war on the top, he could sit here and drink. A miracle. Everyone heard the loneliness in his words. Although Baisus' participation this time changed his results, life and death are fate. If you escape today, you may not be able to escape tomorrow. Whitebeard, you don't have to worry about these things. I have shared the Tao Enlightenment function and the Tao Furnace with everyone. I suggest you try the Enlightenment function first. If your realm successfully breaks through, your life expectancy will also increase accordingly. After a while, I will visit a famous doctor, maybe it can cure your pain, and then you won't have to hang on the drip every day. Baisu smiled and patiently persuaded him. At present, the adventure team has just been established, and he is just about to show his grand plan in the big world. How can he give up such a good seedling as Whitebeard? Brother Bai, did you create that chat group yourself? Or does the technological level of your world have reached the level of crossing the dimensional barriers? Jay Shaolun couldn't help but raise the sea bowl and took a sip of rum. Tears came out because of the hotness. Wine is really not a good thing, and it doesn't taste good at all. Why do some people say it is fragrant? No, the chat group was created by an almighty. I just had better luck and was bound to be the group owner. In the future, I will bring the group members to collect more points for the battlefield tasks, but everyone must consider clearly, the battlefield being in danger, even with my care is at great risk. Baisu shook his head. He still doesn't know who created the two-dimensional fan system. The chat group is just a function in the system. His original strength is similar to Whitebeard's, but after realizing it, his strength quality improvement. The group live broadcast was always on, and his words naturally reached the ears of the group members, causing a sensation. And Izumi Sagiri, wow. Did you hear it? The group owner said that there will be a chance to take us to do missions in the future. Sister Butterfly Ninja, will you sign up next time? Maybe you can get even more powerful abilities. Butterfly House Owner, it's a very tempting suggestion, Lord Group, if the next battlefield mission is not difficult, please bring me one. In return, you can make a request to me, any request can be Austrian. Cough cough. Baisu was drinking and was teased by Butterfly Ninja and almost choked herself. Thinking about Butterfly Ninja's body and voice. No, it's too guilty. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, wow. There are too many shady stories in this chat group. How many innocent girls does the group owner want? Ding. With the body of a mortal, he was banned from speaking for 5 minutes on par with gods. Ding. With the body of a mortal, he was lifted from the ban on par with the gods. Because of the celebration banquet, Baisu just unblocked Tony, but he didn't expect this guy to die immediately. Baisu, give you a chance to reorganize the language, what did you just say? With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with the gods, the master of the group is mighty. Thousands of generations, unify the rivers and lakes. Tony behaved well this time, and he felt that he gradually mastered the point of the group owner. As long as he didn't touch the opponent's bottom line, he could repeatedly jump on the edge of death, and he would not be banned. And Izumi Sagiri, please don't be a licking dog, okay? Butterfly House Owner, please don't be a licking dog, okay? Uncle Ying, please don't be a licking dog, okay? ... Marvel World. By the way, what the hell is the purple sweet potato essence that the group leader said? My new generation of battle armor still has half a month to be debugged. I hope no one will disturb me during this time. Tony is shutting himself up in the villa doing the latest battle armor experiment. With his strength, he quickly produced samples. The rest is to debug the data to perfection and add various cutting-edge weapons. After one incident of being kidnapped by terrorists, he was actually very attentive to Baisu's words. Recently, he contacted scientists and friends in the field of astronomy and asked them for information on alien overlords. Unfortunately, he could not prove the purple sweet potato essence. Evidence of existence. Pirate World. Baisu is enjoying the treatment of being accompanied by two beauties, one is glamorous and noble, whose heart is burning like a flame, and the other is petite and cute, and a mad heart is hidden under her innocent appearance. He looked at Tokasaki Kurumi out of the corner of the eye. The girl has been normal since she got on the deck, and the duck was sitting on the side, so well behaved as to be outrageous. But why does it always feel weird? By the way, she acted too normal, so he had a weird feeling, the ghost knows what this sick girl is thinking now. Master Baisu. Tokasaki Kurumi seemed to sense something. She turned her head just to make contact with Baisu's eyes. Sweet Isho, and a shy Yuhi appeared on her cheeks just right. Baisu hurriedly looked away, reciting the heart purification mantra silently in her heart. The woman was indeed a tiger, so she couldn't see it. At this time, Medusa suddenly said, "Can I understand the victory of this battlefield mission that the future can be changed?" She doesn't have much confidence for now depending on whether she can compete with the big Matsuri in the clan. Master Baisu, can I ask you for help if I encounter difficulties? You know, I am willing to give everything for the safety of my sister. At the same time, Baisu received a private message from Medusa. Chapter 72 Fire List. Medusa is dressed in fiery Yuhi-colored armor, full of heroism. She made it clear in her words that she is willing to give everything for her sister's future. It's hard not to make people think of a top beauty talking like this by her side. You're right, if your strength is strong enough, you can control your destiny. I remember that the world you live in has a thunderstorm, and you can only be reborn after going through the thunderstorm. The reasoning is the same. Quote, joining the adventure squad is the beginning of changing fate, whether it's Whitebeard, Butterfly Ninja, or your sister. The future has a chance not to be affected by fate. In the future, if there is a problem that cannot be solved in the Snake People, you can ask us at any time, such as the Big Matsuri. I have 10,000 ways to make him disappear from the desert forever. Bai Su's attitude is also very clear. The last time Jie Xiaolun entered the game, he used the boundary-breaking talisman to find people. Medusa has also contributed to the adventure team. Thank you, Lord of the group, I feel a lot more at ease with the words of the Lord. The companion spirit beast of the Big Matsuri is said to have reached the 7th order, and it has not been shown to the world for more than 10 years, and my companion soul is a kind of 6th rank monster Zeoyan snake, although it has the bloodline of ancient alien beasts, will have the opportunity to return to its ancestors in the future, but it will not improve its combat power much in a short period of time. The corner of Medusa's mouth finally showed a smile, like iceberg melting, strangely beautiful. Soon after the Snake People were born, they would use a secret method to infuse the soul of a snake-shaped beast into the body, with the growth of age and strength. This kind of snake-shaped beast as a companion soul will gradually merge with them, and finally they will not be separated from each other. After integrating the snake-shaped soul, they can summon a body similar to the current one. At that time, the strength will skyrocket a lot, which is also the last card of the Snake Man. Medusa's companion soul, the purple secluded flame snake, has a bloodline of ancient alien beasts flowing in its body. If the opportunity is enough, it can stimulate the thin bloodline in it, and thus evolve into their ancient ancestors, able to resemble the fighting saints. The competing ancient alien beasts are colorful swallowing pythons. In the plot, Medusa got the inheritance of the colorful swallowing pythons at the bottom of Juyu Huang Izumi. With the help of the Space Trade Fair, she found a colorful rough stone that evolved into a 9-color rough stone and evolved to be comparable to the ancient days. The Snake King's 9-colored swallowing python, but that was decades later. Bai Su, there is a strange fire in the Tager Desert of the Jamma Empire called Fallen Heart Flame. If you can conquer this strange fire, your strength will definitely increase greatly, maybe even the blood of the accompanying soul will also get evolved. I have seen your future, you have the opportunity to be promoted to the top powerhouse in Dochi continent, work hard. Alien fire. That kind of thing is naturally raised and extremely violent. Can it really be tamed by people? Medusa's beautiful eyes flashed a ray of light. She didn't understand why Bai Su suddenly mentioned something like strange fire. Even if there was a strange fire in the Tager Desert, it would only arouse the prying eyes of the Jamma Empire or other forces. I am afraid it has little to do with the Snake People. In the world of Dochi continent, there are some different fires from heaven and earth. Some are the cluster of flames carried by the center of the meteorite falling from the sky, and some are the lava fires deep in the volcanoes that have been forged for thousands of years. The power of these different fires is much more powerful than the flames catalyzed by fighting chi, and the medicinal power of the medicine can be increased by refining the medicine. However, these different fires in the world are extremely violent, and it is rare to meet each other on weekdays, and even if they do, and it is extremely difficult to take it for one's own use. Many Yakushi refiners have searched for the strange fire for a lifetime, but in the end they have not got what they want. After all, if you want to control the strange fire, you need to introduce the flame into your body, and the strange fire is all violent destruction. Even some metal materials that are famous for their sturdiness cannot resist the calcination of the strange fire. The fragile body of man is undoubtedly setting fire to *******. Therefore, only a very few lucky people, by chance, can refine a small cluster of strange fire and cultivate it into their own fire, and these people, without exception, are the leaders in the refining world. However, the attraction of different fires to Yakushi refining is still huge. Therefore, the refining world of Dochi continent has compiled the now known different fires into a different fire list, of which there are 23 kinds. Falling Heart Flame ranks 14th in the different fire list. It is a transparent and colorless flame that is milky white when it is extremely rich. Fire is born from the heart, quenching gas and refining bones. Known as practice cheating device, it can speed up cultivation. Once the fallen heart flame is successfully refined, a kind of heart fire will be continuously generated in the body, and this heart fire will burn the fighting spirit in the body every day and every night without any control. Waiting for the almost non-stop training room, it is like the body is in a state of cultivation all the time, and this cultivation state, the effect is better than usual cultivation. This kind of cultivation will naturally be far higher than ordinary cultivation. Medusa is not a Yakushi refiner, so she doesn't really have much demand for Yiwo. Although Baisu admires Yiwo, if it's not necessary, she feels that she can find other ways to improve her strength. Baisu, why can't the strange fire be subdued? As far as I know, there is a kind of exercise that can be upgraded by swallowing the strange fire. If you can withstand huge risks and level up, it is not impossible to reach the realm of Dodi. Duty. This is unbelievable. Medusa almost exclaimed when she heard the words Dodi. How could Dodi be so easy to become? How many talents are there in the entire Dochi continent? Why would you step on someone else's feet? However, when she thought of the magic of Yiwo, she believed it a little bit. She had never even heard of the cultivation technique that devoured Yiwo and upgraded it. Yeah, this method of swallowing the different fire is too dangerous. When I have time, I will go to the Dochi continent for a walk and help you protect the law. It shouldn't be a problem for you to break through the realm and become a Dozong powerhouse. Baisu's voice is full of contagion. The word Dozong has a lot of weight in the vicinity of the Jama Empire. If Medusa can be promoted to Dozong, her sister's status will be unshakable and will be greatly improved. The Matsuri division is driven out, and the old dogma is abolished. The snake people are destined to have 2 queens. Thank you, Lord of the group, for your appreciation. I will definitely prepare carefully and wash away the dust for you. Medusa was overjoyed, and subconsciously grabbed Baisu's arm and pulled it into her arms. Baisu felt the amazing elasticity, but felt a little confused. Chapter 73 Embroidered Spring Knife. P.S. This chapter is being revised, please watch it tomorrow. Medusa, please let go of the group owner's arm. Lord Baisu is mine. Tokisaki Kurumi had always been beside Baisu as a good baby, but after seeing Medusa's movements, he immediately hugged Baisu's other arm in a learned manner, and his little head came over and said, "When did Mr. Baisu become yours? We both joined the group at the same time and participated in this battlefield mission together, right?" Medusa has the air of a queen. She was not a stingy person at first, but she suddenly felt a little uncomfortable when she heard Kurumi's words, so she replied a few words. "Because the two of us are a natural pair. He also has the power of time. As far as I know, only the two of us have the most similar abilities in the entire chat group." Tokisaki Kurumi was unrelenting, holding Baisu's arm and rubbing against it. Baisu tried a few times but couldn't pull it out. It's rare that this sick girl can feel Baisu's time ability. In this top war mission, he never used the time backtracking skill once, but Kurumi can accurately describe his ability. Could it be her? Is it because of strong insight? And Izumi Sagiri, wow. The group owner is very beautiful. How long has it been since two beauties started to grab people, and they will be good in the future? Humph, I don't know anything like a child. Medusa was finally defeated, mainly because Tokisaki Kurumi's appearance was petite and cute. She and the other party had a sense of guilt for grabbing a man, as if she was grabbing candy from a child. What's more, Baisu has promised herself that she can come to Dochi continent if she has the opportunity in the future. With Baisu's helper, she feels that there should be no problem with her sister's safety. Jie Shaolun didn't say anything when he sat on the side, but when he lowered his head, he quietly gave a thumbs up where Baisu could see. After 3 rounds of wine, There is no such thing as a banquet in the world, and they are ready to return to their respective worlds. Whitebeard, boo lala. I am so happy today. I hope we can get together again and strive for a common goal in the future. I still have to sign up for the next battlefield mission. Although it's hard to hit the execution ground with my head, but instead of obediently listening to the class in the classroom, I think this kind of life is more meaningful. Next time, the leader of the group, remember to bring me with you, because you made me experience the fun of fighting. As the owner of the super gene, Jay Shaolun has been initially liberated in the battlefield mission. Next time, he may be able to find a handy weapon, and rely on the indestructible body to shine in the mission. One after another golden portals appeared above the Moby Dick, and the mighty golden energy spread throughout the pirate world, and people who didn't know why didn't know where to take refuge. This is the forced teleportation enabled by the system. Most battlefield missions are time limited. They just ate at Whitebeard and caught up with time-space teleportation. If they miss this opportunity, they can only buy from the mall with their own pockets. Boundary Breaker. Tokusaki Kurumi. I'll go first, remember to miss me. Everyone entered the portal one by one and the teleportation disappeared. Kurumi waved to Baisu and said goodbye reluctantly. After she returns to Tiangong City, I am afraid that several big things will happen again, and she will have to harvest a lot of time at the Marine headquarters. The power is enough for her to squander for a while. Goodbye. Medusa didn't say much. She glanced at Baisu, turned and entered the portal without looking back. At this moment, Baisu noticed a message popped up on the public screen. Ding! Jin Yichuan withdrew from the live broadcast room. At the end of the battlefield mission, Jin Yichuan quietly withdrew from the live broadcast room, lying in the dormitory with cold sweat on his forehead. He was wearing very elegant clothes, which were made of zhuanghualuo, zhuanghuaya, and zhuanghua silk in the brocade. It had a python-shaped pattern with fins and fishtails on it, and the head had 2 horns, which was extremely hideous. Wearing a standard long knife on the waist, it was made by the Ministry of Industry in batches. Flying fish suit, embroidered spring knife. What the hell is this TM? Flying to the sky, moving mountains and filling the sea. There are immortals in this chat group, scaring the baby to death. Cough, cough. Constitution since he was a child. In addition, he suffered a dark injury while walking in the rivers and lakes in the early years, and contracted tuberculosis. When he coughed, he curled up, as if he was about to cough out his soul. At first, I thought they were bragging, and I wanted to talk about the mountains together. Fortunately, I was more cautious, and I found out the truth. The group is full of real bosses, and I am the only one who is trash. I won't be able to talk in the group even if I'm killed in the future. Only by taking the Yuhi bag and diving quietly can I live like this. He made Iron Man Tony Stark's lucky Yuhi bag, and he became the Lucky King, obtaining several kilograms of gold bricks at one time. Ding! Jin Yichuan withdrew from the live broadcast room. At the end of the battlefield mission, Jin Yichuan quietly withdrew from the live broadcast room, lying in the dormitory with cold sweat on his forehead. He was wearing very elegant clothes, which were made of zhuanghualuo, zhuanghuaya, and zhuanghua silk in the brocade. It had a python-shaped pattern with fins and fishtails on it, and the head had 2 horns, which was extremely hideous. Wearing a standard long knife on the waist, it was made by the Ministry of Industry in batches. Flying fish suit, embroidered spring knife. What the hell is this TM? Flying to the sky, moving mountains and filling the sea. There are immortals in this chat group, scaring the baby to death. Cough, cough. Constitution since he was a child. In addition, he suffered a dark injury while walking in the rivers and lakes in the early years, and contracted tuberculosis. When he coughed, he curled up, as if he was about to cough out his soul. At first, I thought they were bragging, and I wanted to talk about the mountains together. Fortunately, I was more cautious, and I found out the truth. The group is full of real bosses, and I am the only one who is trash. I won't be able to talk in the group even if I'm killed in the future. Only by taking the Yuhi bag and diving quietly can I live like this. He made Iron Man Tony Stark's lucky Yuhi bag, and he became the lucky king, obtaining several kilograms of gold bricks at one time. At first, I thought they were bragging, and I wanted to talk about the mountains together. Fortunately, I was more cautious, and I found out the truth. The group is full of real bosses, and I am the only one who is trash. I won't be able to talk in the group even if I'm killed in the future. Only by taking the Yuhi bag and diving quietly can I live like this. He made Iron Man Tony Stark's lucky Yuhi bag, and he became the lucky king, obtaining several kilograms of gold bricks at one time. P.S. Thank you for the reward of life like flowing water SSS boss. Chapter 74 Add money lays, please collect. This is 1 or 2 goings, enough for 22 silvers. If you are lucky, you can get more. You can do a little business by yourself, and don't bother me in the future. Going or 2 directly from his pocket and handed it to Ding Shu. In the world of embroidered spring knives, going is very difficult to mine, and there are few mines. As time goes by, going will continue to increase in value. Generally speaking, few people will exchange going for white silver. He just grabbed a Yuhi bag in the chat group and became a local tyrant. Before, he was just a wandering thief, but now he doesn't even care about 1 or 2 goings. It's no wonder that everyone in the world wants to be an official. You, a little Jinyue, can take out such wealth at your fingertips. Tell me. How much did you embezzle? Ding Shu stared at the gold in his hand. The weak light reflected in the dark night almost blinded his dog's eyes. Senior brother, don't you have to go too far, okay? This is because the second brother took care of me, and only paid my salary in advance for a year. Don't forget it. Give it back to me. Jin Yichuan made an impatient expression, and wanted to grab the gold back, but his skills were not as quick as Ding Shu's, and he was empty after several attempts. The elder brother Shen in his mouth is called Shen Lian, the general banner of Jin Yiwei, and he is the second eldest brother with Jin Yichuan and Lu Jiangxing. This second brother is strong in martial arts and selfless. He has a great reputation in Jin Yiwei. His hobby is to go to brothels. He is fascinated by Zhou Miaotong, the top brand of Jiaofeng division. He often goes to Zhou Miaotong, does nothing, just sits on the floor staying overnight as a kind of love. Hey, I tell you, don't play tricks with me. You have 7 days to make up 100 or 2 silvers, otherwise don't blame my brother for not being affectionate, and shake out all your shit. Ding Shu has been entangled with Jin Yichuan for so long, and this is the first time he has received such a large sum of money. Knowing that ordinary people spend only a few silvers a year, he thinks this junior and senior must have done something shameful. Otherwise you will not get rich overnight. After Ding Shu left, it took Jin Yichuan a long time to calm down. It's not that he didn't resist before, but his martial arts skills were lower than Ding Shu's. Coupled with the drag from tuberculosis, there was almost no hope of winning. Cut. What the hell, if you know who is in my chat group, don't scare your pants. Hey, if only I could be as dashing as the big guys in the group. Fly into the sky, walk in the air, and one punch can split mountains and rivers. Whenever he thinks of the scene in the war on the top, he can't help his blood boil. Isn't that the martial arts realm that Master has pursued all his life? Good man, when you kill people, your hands are full of blood, and you will be shocked. But when he thinks about it again, he feels discouraged. He has been unlucky since he was a child, and he feels that the gap between himself and those favored people is too great. After watching the live broadcast of the group, he is more firm in his thoughts. Bai Sus feet are like a devil. God-like existence, I am afraid to see myself like an ant. He didn't stay on the street for too long, and he went back soon. He would never have thought that someone blocked Ding Shu's way. Is something wrong, sir? Ding Shu was pondering where Jin Yichuan got the gold, and suddenly found a middle-aged man dressed in a brocade robe and riding a white horse in front of him. He was handsome and wore a high crown. The eunuch of Dongchang, Wei Zongxian's adopted son, Zhao Jingzong. Eunuch Wei is now sunset on the West Mountain, but Zhao Jingzong not only was not implicated, but was promoted to be the new governor of Dongchang, and the whole capital is rumored to be a rising star. I heard that you are good at martial arts. Please kill someone. This 100 taels is a deposit. I'll give you the other half after you've done it. Zhao Jingzong is worthy of being the governor of the East Factory. He is generous in his actions. He directly gave 100 taels of silver directly to the money. Who to kill? Beijun Fusi Small Flag Officer, Jin Yichuan. Don't father-in-law know about our relationship? Humph. I've already inquired about it. You two teachers went out of the same school, but you are in the same situation. Help me kill him and give yourself a relief. Father-in-law misunderstood. This is my dearest relative, brother. Ellipsis. Have to pay extra. Ding Shu's feelings for this junior brother are very complicated. He hates the master's partiality and guards himself everywhere, but he teaches Jin Yichuan all the money. Jin Yichuan is a sick man. Pass on the martial arts to me, and I will carry it forward for you, right? Now that the master is dead, he has no relatives in this world, wandering like a ghost and a wild ghost, doing things like thieves, but his beloved relatives, brothers and sisters, have transformed into Jinyiwei. Official, still not willing to be oneself. Okay, Lord has been entangled with you in this life. This time someone paid a lot of money to buy your life. Let's see how you can escape this disaster. Ellipsis. Hokage World. As soon as Bai Su walked out of the golden portal, he heard a pleasant system prompt. Ding. Earn 3,000 bonus points for dramatically changing the story of the world of One Piece, King of Pirates. 3,000 points. So many. But yes, Whitebeard's death has had a huge impact on the world of One Piece, King of Pirates. His death is the end of an era. How many points do I have now? Counting the 10,000 points awarded by the battlefield mission, and the more than 1,000 I have saved daily, the total is 14,060. Last time, I started Rinnegan with 1 enlightenment. With so many points down, I can't take off. Seeing so many points, Bai Su immediately felt confident. He has 3 chances of enlightenment given by the system every month, so he might as well try the Dao Furnace function. Maybe he can greatly improve his ability. The first battlefield mission is not very difficult. The combat power system in the One Piece, King of Pirates world is not higher than that of Hokage, but the battlefield missions encountered in the future are difficult to say. Run, then his Rinnegan is a little bit lacking. When he returned to the mansion, he learned through Uchiha Tekka that nothing major happened to Konoha in the past 2 days, and after explaining a few words to Makoto, he began to retreat. The Dao Furnace requires 1,000 points each time it is used, and there is no free opportunity, so the consumption is really not low. Which skill to strengthen first? Rinnegan, or Sage Mode? By the way, this battlefield mission has obtained a shock fruit. Whitebeard can rely on the fruit's ability to cause a big earthquake and even shake the space. It's quite interesting. Why don't you use it to test the water? He suddenly remembered the shocking fruit. The side effects of ordinary devil fruits are a bit big, such as the taste is extremely unpalatable, and they are afraid of seawater. It is said that they can only take one. Restricting so many abilities is a burden to him. It is better to use it to test the effect of the furnace. Anyway, 1,000 points are nothing to him. Bai Su put the devil fruit into the furnace of the avenue, and meditated in his heart, blast it for me. P.S. Thank you for the reward of life like flowing water SSS boss. Chapter 75 Void Sutra please collect. The huge oven is eternal, unchanging flame, and the devil fruit is calcined by the fire after being placed in it. Time passed by minute, Bai Su couldn't help rubbing his hands. The waiting process was really a bit tortuous. Ding! Congratulations on the successful promotion of the host treasure, and obtained the Junjun fruit grade, perfect. Advanced is successful. Bai Su hurriedly took out the devil fruit and carefully observed what improvements he had gained. Shocking fruit grade, perfect. Paramesha devil fruit has no side effects. After taking it, it can cause vibration at will. The degree of vibration can be adjusted. It can make the atmosphere vibrate, crack the sea, shake the sky and cause the destruction of the tsunami. The power of the vibration transmitted in the air is enough to directly overthrow an island. You can get a trace of the power of space law, and ultimate can travel in the void. Skill. Shattering and crackling. The strongest power of the rage burst. Using the power of the quake fruit to make a white air pressure cover appear in one hand or both hands clenched fist, can instantly shatter any target it touches, and the longer the charging time, the destruction the greater the force, the more destructive it is, and even the air is completely split, and the space vibrates violently like the end of the world. Kun is in the world. The fruit of the earthquake and the conqueror Hokage merged, forming a strong space earthquake in the area within sight. The heaven and the earth moved together, just like the king of Kun patrolling the quartet. Space shuttle. Comprehend the weak laws of space. You can travel through time and space with your own power. Note: there is great danger in the void. It is recommended that the host not easily try to break the world by himself before the power of the physical body reaches the second order level. This guy. You call this promotion. This TM is simply recreating a devil fruit. So what? Kun is in the world. It suits me so well. This name is tailor-made for me. Baisuksen Satomi picked up the devil fruit, and a teleportation technique came to the border of Konoha, destroying the Junjun fruit. The taste is similar to Yuhi Heart Dragon fruit, but 10,000 times better. Crack. Fortunately, he had foresight. Because the newly acquired power was too powerful, he hadn't adapted to it yet. With a little force under his feet, he stepped on a crack that was several kilometers long, and the whole mountain disintegrated. Ding! Because you take the shaking fruit grade, perfect, you have acquired the ability to shake, and acquired the skills shatter, crack, kun to the world, space shuttle, etc. 1000 points, 2 TM value. By the way, system, what does this second order physical power mean? How many levels does my current comprehensive strength have? Baisu suddenly remembered that in the introduction of Junjun fruit, the ability to travel through time and space cannot be used casually. It seems that there are many unknown dangers in the void, and using the systematic golden channel of the breaking talisman can avoid any risks. The overall strength of the host is probably at the first order advanced level, but because there is no suitable forging technique, the physical strength is slightly weaker, barely reaching the first order. The system quickly gave an answer. It turned out that there was a set of criteria for dividing the realm in the system. He possessed abilities such as Rinnegan, Sage Mode, and Shock Fruit, but he only got a first-order high-level evaluation. It seems that the world is worth visiting. There is so much more to explore. If you put all your points in, what will you be in? A crazy idea suddenly popped up in Baisu's mind, and he couldn't get around it. The Tao Furnace was his Krypton gold system, and the points were the currency. From the Tao Enlightenment function to the Tao Furnace function, he basically determined his European Emperor constitution. No way, their luck is so good. The maximum number of people who can be invited casually in the chat group is 5. The enlightenment time has been extended to 5 hours. I originally wanted to get 1,000 points to test the water, but the Junjun fruit was upgraded to perfect quality at one time. Since he is so European, why bother? Just smashing all the points. Maybe you will soar in the daytime. What is the big boss of the ninja world? What is the main task? Isn't it a matter of your own words in the future? One word, do it. There are a total of 5 card slots in the Avenue Furnace, and Baisu put several of his most powerful skills into it. Shaking Fruit, Space Law Fragments, Sage Mode, Rinnegan. You blow me up. Ding, promotion failed. It's alright, it's only 1,000 points, what brother has his money? Fry. Ding, promotion failed. Small things are acceptable. Fry. Ding, promotion failed. Fry. Baisu's face gradually turned black. What kind of broken system? Failed 10 times in a row, what a joke. His points were earned back a little bit at the risk of his own, but as soon as he smashed in 10,000 points, he heard a sound. He remembered that when he played the Krypton Gold mobile game before the time travel, he went first to Europe and then to Africa. He couldn't even hear the sound of a single ******8. He was so angry that he charged the silver card to the limit overnight, and so on. When I came back to my senses, I regretted it. But now that we have come this far, we will never buy regret medicine again, right? 10,000 points is the total income of his battlefield quest points. According to the system, every time an item fails to be promoted, the next time he, Krypton Gold, it will increase the chance of success, until it succeeds. Baisus' heart fluttered, and he directly smashed the remaining 3,000 points into it, and the outcome was here. Give it a try, the bicycle becomes a motorcycle, I am afraid of a bird, blow me up. After the avenue furnace was over, a rich golden light illuminated everything. One by one golden characters floated from the furnace, forming a mysterious scripture. The great road is measured, the sect of all things, and the light is the same dust. The grand voice resounded throughout the universe, deafening and deafening. Baisu realized some pictures from the voice just now. Some high-level powerhouses are fighting in the universe, destroying a big star at every turn. It took him a long time to come back to his senses, and found that there was a half-scroll book floating in front of him, with several large golden characters engraved on it, Void Sutra. The Void Sutra. Sounds familiar. It's not the one who stayed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the half-volume Void Sutra. The study of space is unparalleled in the ancient Void Sutra. It is an immortal scripture created by ancient sages to observe all things and capture the eternal and unchanging laws. The Tao itself is empty, but its function is never-ending. This is Heim's Void Sutra, which is the Tao of the void, which erases the edge of all things, resolves the disputes of all things, harmonizes the brilliance of all things, and mixes with all the dust and dirt, but the body is always empty and exists forever. In a certain fantasy world, someone uses the infinite void to prove the Tao, controls the limit of space, is not weaker than others in his life, calms the dark turmoil, suppresses the immortal mountains, and fights the gods outside the realm. The two supremes of Shan went to the dead end together. Self-burial in 9 coffins after death, drifting in the infinite starry sky. Chapter 76 Great Cause and Effect. The Void Sutra should be considered a top-level exercise, right? At least it is very powerful in the dimensional world I know. The Void Emperor is really a ruthless person. Baisu breathed a sigh of relief. These 10,000 points were not wasted at last, and half of the Void Sutra was smashed. According to the strength of the Void Sutra, even if only half of it was enough to cultivate to the level of a Saint King, when the time came, the roar can shatter the endless star veins, and travel in the great thousand worlds is also emboldened. But before he was happy, another message came from the system. Ding! Congratulations on the successful promotion of the host's skills. The probability is 0.00046%, triggering the special task, Great Emperor Karma. The Great Emperor's cause and effect, a half-faced mirror is buried in the void. During the period of darkness and turmoil, the Void Emperor stepped out of the sarcophagus and was temporarily resurrected. With his imprint of life and fragments of the avenue, he fought against the Stone Emperor with the immortal mirror, and cut off an arm of the Lord of Reincarnation. Matsuri came out with his own Tao bone, just to do his last to stop the dark turmoil. In the end, the Emperor's bones were completely broken, the fairy mirror was half broken, and even the Emperor's body was only half left. The half-faced mirror accompanies the Void Emperor's remnant body away, and is buried in the boundless void. Mission requirements. 1. Find the half-faced fairy mirror buried in the void. 2. Calm down the following dark turmoil, at least 3 life-restricted areas. Mission time, 50 years. Failure penalty, 30,000 points are deducted, and the strength is reduced by 1 order. May I ask the host whether to accept the upper part of the Void Sutra? Acceptance will automatically bind this quest and cannot be cancelled. My Nima, how vast is the boundless void? Where is I going to find that half-mirror for you? And to quell the dark turmoil, didn't you see that the Void Emperor was defeated? I ran to the restricted area of life to send dish. Quote. 3 life restricted areas, is that thing so flat? Ancient mines, Shenshu, undead mountains, barren ancient restricted areas, immortal mausoleums, burial islands. Which of these restricted areas are soft persimmons? Baisu feels powerless to complain. The main punishment for this task is too high. He will have to deduct 30,000 points at every turn, and his strength will be cut off by the first rank. According to the division rules of the system, his current strength is not yet second rank, and he will wait until 50. After 2010, it is estimated that it will fall directly from the realm of the King of Saints to the realm of transforming dragons. Well, discuss it. I don't want the Void Sutra, can you give me back the 13,000 points? Hey, system, don't pretend to be dead at this time, okay. ... Now it's very embarrassing, the system doesn't answer directly, is this forcing him to deliver food? A person ran to the restricted area of life and said to the Supreme Being, "Hello, your takeaway has arrived." The forbidden area of life is created by the Supreme, and ordinary people cannot go there at all, otherwise they will die without a place to be buried. Once this kind of creature is born, either the road to immortality will be opened, or it will be dark and turbulent. And every time it caused countless deaths and injuries to human beings, the Supremes went to harvest the lives of the human race piece by piece in order to protect themselves from death. In that world, the human race is weak, but heroes are born in large numbers. The ultimate goal of generations of emperors is to quell the dark turmoil and completely destroy these restricted areas of life, but until the generation of the Void Emperor, there is still not much change. After confronting the system for a long time, Baisu was finally defeated. Dangers really coexist with opportunities. If he doesn't take this half-step Void Sutra, he may completely cut off his path to becoming stronger. After all, there is a 0.00046% chance. Opportunities that no one else can ask for. Isn't it a forbidden area of life? If I go, it will be over. Maybe I can abduct a goddess and come back as a maid, the system is your uncle. Baisu scolded and took half of the Void Sutra, and the golden characters turned into a burst of brilliance and disappeared into his body. The forbidden area of life is not only dangerous, but also countless treasures, such as the living and dead, the magic medicine of flesh and bones, such as the peerless goddess sealed in the source of the gods, just to be born at the right time and compete for the only chance to become an emperor. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining Void Sutra. Part 1, Obtaining the Skill Great Void Technique, and Breaking the Two Worlds. Great Void Technique. Ghosts and spirits are unpredictable, extremely mysterious, and when you practice to ultimate, you can travel through the void, but you can't capture the figure. It is worthy of the name of Ghosts and Ghosts. Under normal circumstances, it can occupy the absolute initiative. Breaking the Two Realms. The secret technique of the taboo chapter of the void reappears. Use your heart to perform it. As if your right arm is about to melt, it cuts the front with force, and a blazing flame can be emitted. The big crack spreads and divides the whole world into two halves. The Void Emperor once used this technique to separate the body and primordial spirit of a supreme being from the sea of reincarnation, and melted it into nothingness, which was so terrifying to ultimate. Ding! Congratulations to the host's strength reaching the second order high level. I wish you a wonderful adventure life in the dimensional world. Snort. Hypocrisy. Now I know I'm flattering. Why didn't you say a word when I asked you to pay back the points? Baisu has seen through the system now. He is not sure if this thing has self-awareness, but the system seems to be following a certain procedure, instinctively urging him to keep getting stronger. If he is not strong enough, he may end up in a certain mission. Fall in. By the way, half a step of the Void Sutra can increase my strength by 1 rank. I haven't started practicing yet. Baisu subconsciously opened his attribute panel. He didn't know if he didn't read it. When he saw it, he was startled. This attribute increased like a joke. Name, Baisu. Sex, male. Birthday, August 6th _. ID number, 37132719992XXXX. Health, 15,687. Mana Chakra Energy, 6,006. Damage, 3,543. Damage, 5,614. Defense, 2,300. Speed, 754. Available skills. Forbearance Fighting Technique, Thunder Plow Hot Knife. Technique of the Kingdom of Thunder, in the state of gathering Raiden Thunder style chakra all over the body, slams the opponent at high speed with the body, and uses the powerful wrist strength to give the opponent a fatal blow. Full version of Sage Mode. By absorbing a certain amount of natural energy to create Sage Art Chakra, you can greatly enhance the power of your own ninjutsu, fighting technique, and demonic illusion. After using Sage Mode, the body will undergo certain changes, and only the Sage Mode with eyeshadow is complete. Blood Follower Boundary, Rinnegan. One of the three major pupil techniques in the Hokage world, the most sublime pupil power known as the eye that controls life and death, originated from the ultimate pupil technique of the chakra fruit of the divine tree. The owner of Rinnegan controls yin and yang, has at least 6 changes in the nature of chakra, and has extraordinary abilities. It can be either the god of creation with the ability to create the world, or the god of destruction with the ability to destroy the world. At the same time, Rinnegan is also the only one away to defend and crack infinite Tsukuyomi. Senpo, Sage Art. Planetary Devastation. Push Rinnegan with Sage Art to create a black ball that strongly attracts all surrounding objects to form a giant rock ball that traps and crushes enemies. The legend is that the 6 paths fairy use to seal the body of 10 tails. They can create a moon at will and trap the enemy in it forever and ever. Chapter 77,300 Point Deal. Complete Susanoo. Perfect body is called the real Susanoo, and it can only be opened by those who have used Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil power to ultimate and have huge chakras themselves. At this time, Susanoo's volume has become extremely huge, and the chakra tends to be stable. Its strength can not only easily split mountains and meteorites, but also has the ability to fly, and at the same time, it can use hand seal to perform the spells that the caster is good at. Back in time. Consume a lot of magic power to push the law of time, and restore the surrounding life and things to any time within 3 minutes, with a range of 1 kilometer. Great Void Technique. Ghosts and spirits are unpredictable, extremely mysterious, and when you practice to ultimate, you can travel through the void, but you can't capture the figure. It is worthy of the name of Ghosts and Ghosts. Under normal circumstances, it can occupy the absolute initiative. Breaking the 2 realms. The secret technique of the taboo chapter of the void reappears. Use your heart to perform it. As if your right arm is about to melt, it cuts the front with force, and a blazing flame can be emitted. The big crack spreads and divides the whole world into 2 halves. The Void Emperor once used this technique to separate the body and primordial spirit of a supreme being from the sea of reincarnation, and melted it into nothingness, which was so terrifying to ultimate. Equipment. Demon Sword Muramasa, Damage plus 200, Magic Power plus 200, Active Skill World Armor. All over the world. The creatures killed by the Demon Sword will not be able to survive, and will be imprisoned in the Demon Sword forever. The holder can summon warriors from the Sengoku era to fight with the samurai, costing 500 mana points. The weapon is a bit of a crotch. At the beginning, I spent a long time for the achievement of this demon sword, but I didn't expect that I would not be able to keep up with him so quickly. With his current vision, he can also look at the silver-level weapons in the Super God world, whether it is a pirate or a Hokage. The grades are not that high. Since he has chosen this path, there is no need to complain. After all, the task period of the Great Emperor Karma is 50 years. According to the current speed, he may not have the strength to eliminate the restricted area of life after 50 years. Ding! You have a message, please check it. At this time, he suddenly received a private message from Izumi Sagiri. When he opened it, he almost got a nosebleed. It turned out to be the latest masterpiece. The heroine is too beautiful. And Izumi Sagiri, Master Group Owner. I got a private photo of Sister Huang Rong, 600 points, no bargaining, and there will be a whole series to follow, absolutely not a loss. This girl is too daring. Could it be that this book was created based on Huang Rong's prototype? Although he has seen a lot of Huang Rong's fan works, they are all imaginative. How can there be a realistic style like Izumi Sagiri? Cough cough, money is a little tight recently, 100 points. Baisu suddenly remembered that all his points had been emptied, and his heart suddenly felt a pain, spending money like water. The Avenue Furnace system is definitely a pit, and even his group owner can't stand this kind of Krypton gold method. And Izumi Sagiri, no. Mr. Baisu, you are a big tyrant in our group, okay. Last time you were on a war mission, you had 10,000 points alone, how could you be so tight? 600 points is really cheap. Hey, do you think you don't need to lose your hair to create? Baisu, I said, you are a comic book teacher, why do you want points? I'm not joking to tell you that all my points have been spent on the function of the Avenue Furnace, and now I'm a poor man. And Izumi Sagiri, because I also want to have the strength to participate in the mission one day. How boring is it to watch the live broadcast in the group all the time? I even thought of the name of the ultimate trick, so it's called for. How about cutting the sword? One sword, swipe it out, like a thunder god descending into the world, eradicating thousands of evil spirits. Ah, nice name. Baisu was speechless for a while. When she thought of such a cute girl calling out the name of her unique trick, why did she feel a little out of line? Battlefield missions are really not that easy to do. It is true that you will die if you are not careful. Last time, just by the words of Whitebeard and others, maybe you will repeat the same mistakes and fail the final mission. How about bargaining? How about 300 points? Baisu thought about it for a while. After all, it was the work of others. Although there were only a few pictures, it could be seen that both the plot and the characters were all excellent skills. He could barely accept it by cutting it in half. Deal. Who would have thought that Izumi would agree with Sagiri and send him a whole set of manuscripts in a hurry? This girl is too sophisticated, and she probably waited for her to bargain from the beginning. Gone. Forget it, it's useless to keep 300 points. It's better to buy some spiritual food. The storyboard of this work is really original. Huh, is there still such a pose? Baisu gave 300 points to Sagiri and Izumi, and went back to the retreat of the mansion, lying on the bed and flipping through this book. Each chapter is a wonderful point, worthy of being a genius. This girl definitely put her heart into it. Mr. Kuhn, what are you looking at? At this moment, a soft voice sounded from behind. Baisu looked up, only to find that his sight was blocked by a pair of huge evil. Oops, I was so engrossed in it that I didn't notice when Makoto came in. Although his strength is high and his spiritual power can cover the entire Konoha village at will, he will not fortify the closest people, and both Uchiha Makoto and Uchiha Itachi can freely enter and leave his retreat. Cough cough. Nothing, I went out shopping today to buy a little book. Is this the dessert you brought? It's delicious. Baisu began to show off what he thought was his superb acting skills. He put the notebook in his hand behind him without leaving a trace, but these little actions were invisible in Uchiha Makoto's eyes. Lord Kuhn, you seem to have forgotten one thing, I have Sharingan too. You seem to be too overworked lately, and I'm ashamed of myself for not fulfilling my duties as a wife. A smirk appeared on the corner of Uchiha Makoto's mouth. Men are still teenagers until they die. Even if her husband became a fourth-generation Hokage and became one of the most powerful men in the world, there is still something cute. She twisted her waist and sat directly on Baisu's thigh. Because she was wearing a slit cheongsam, this posture revealed too many beautiful things. Itachi has gone to school, no one else can come in without an order, no one disturbs out here. Makoto leaned down and said, biting his lip beside Baisu's ear. Over this period of development, Makoto's technique seems to have improved a lot, and as a professionally trained jonin, her physique is not comparable to that of ordinary women. Madam, listen to my explanation. I really didn't. Hush. Be gentle. Chapter 78 Immortal King coming to 9 days. Tonight is destined to be a sleepless night. Uchiha Makoto entangled like a beautiful snake, trying to conquer Baisu with all his strengths, but unfortunately this man has already stood at the top of the world, his body of second-order strength is indestructible. After 300 rounds, Uchiha Makoto finally stopped and fell asleep contentedly in Baisu's arms. Baisu was full of energy. Now his strength has surpassed the main world of Hokage. It's up to you to worry about everything at home during this time. It's hard work. It's really hard to tell the situation in life. A few months ago, he was still a daiosi. He went back to the rental house after work every day, lying on the bed and swiping his mobile phone with empty eyes. Now he has crossed into the world of Hokage, not only has accompanied by beautiful women, you can even lead the adventure team to travel in the world. He is not sleepy, and when he reaches this state, he can completely use meditation instead of sleep, and he can cultivate even in dreams. This month's free enlightenment opportunities have not been used up. Why don't you use them together and see how many masters can be mastered by the Void Sutra? He turned on the Tao enlightenment function and used both opportunities. He quickly entered a state, wandered into a whole new world. Konoha, root. This special institution lurking in the ground cannot see the sun all day long. Shimura Danzo created this place to become Hokage as soon as possible. Unfortunately, it backfired. Decades have passed, and he has more and more darkness on his back, but he is not far from the position of Hokage. Further and further. In the deepest secret room at the root, the two old men were sitting opposite each other. No one would have thought that Konoha's light and darkness would gather here. Danzo, stop it. You are definitely not Uchiha's opponent. Now Baisu is the fourth generation of Hokage. In order to take care of the overall situation, you must not go wrong here. Sarutobi Hiruzen hadn't slept well for the past few days. Baisu went directly to his house and bluntly said that he wanted to engage Shimura Danzo. After thinking about it, he still felt that it was necessary to disclose this news to Danzo, so as to save the life of this former comrade in arms. Although Shimura Danzo is known as the darkness of the shinobi world, he knows a part of what the other party does, but his attitude towards the root has always been to turn a blind eye. With his intentional connivance, Danzo has become his pawn, has helped him solve his troubles many times. Once Shimura Danzo is dealt with, it is actually equivalent to having one arm cut off from the forces left by the second generation of Hokage, and he also stepped down from Hokage's position. If they drag on, their control over Konoha will become unprecedented. Small. What did you say? Let me submit to a Uchiha brat, Sarutobi Hiruzen. I tell you this is absolutely impossible. Shimura Danzo deliberately suppressed his anger, but it still showed in his tone. Although the Uchiha family is powerful, since the death of Uchiha Madara, the second generation of Hokage has implemented a segregation plan all the year round. The Uchiha family has hardly made any true friends in Konoha, and has always played the role of tool people. He originally wanted to use Baisu this time to achieve the purpose of controlling Konoha's power, but he didn't expect Baisu to pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger, and he immediately regretted it after taking the position. I'm telling you this because of past friendship. Do you think I'm willing to violate my own principles? Baisu has decided to know your power. I suggest you leave Konoha and guard the village in secret. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression is very serious. This is the most suitable solution he can think of. To be honest, if he is to fight against Baisu, he has absolutely no confidence that he can win. In his impression, Shimura Danzo is worse than himself, definitely not Baisu's opponent. Just recently, an organization called Akatsuki has appeared in the ninja world, and it has attracted S-class missing nin from the ninja world everywhere. His sense of smell is very keen. So he wanted Shimura Danzo to become a missing nin and sneak in, and then come back after he finds out the details of Akatsuki. At that time, he can find another opportunity to clean up Danzo. With this kind of credit, Baisu should not dare to do anything at will. What did you say? You made me defect to Konoha because of a kid. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you are already old, how could you say such naive words? I live and die with Konoha, my life is given by the second generation Hokage-sama. Even if you die in order to realize your ideal, you must die worthy of it. Quote. Shimura Danzo categorically rejected the proposal of the third generation of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. His body was transformed by Orochimaru's Mokuden, wood-style, cells, and he obtained the legendary technique of the Uchiha family, Izanagi. Even cage-level powerhouses are likely to be defeated by him. Izanagi is one of the ultimate pupil techniques in the Hokage world, and is called perfect pupil technique by the Uchiha family. Record the caster's own state with Sharingan at the moment of its activation, and then within the effective time of the spell, any damage suffered by the caster, even including the caster's death, can be saved. It is physically restored to the state recorded by Sharingan, the chakra consumed by the caster will not be restored, and the integrity of the eye that uses the spell does not count. The price is that the eye that uses Izanagi loses its light permanently and is therefore listed as a forbidden technique. Second generation of Hokage has carefully studied this forbidden technique, and found that this technique converts all unfavorable factors, including death, to a dream in a very short period of time. It is an art that can transform dreams and reality freely, and it belongs to demonic illusion. But he spent a lot of time and failed to reproduce this technique successfully. This technique needs to consume a lot of chakra, and there must be Sharingan. Shimura Danzo just meets these conditions. The Mokuden wood-style cell is one of the masterpieces of the Orochimaru laboratory. This cell is derived from the first generation of Hokage Senju Hashirama. It was originally called the power of the god of the ninja world. Although it has many side effects, it is a scientist, Orochimaru's talent should indeed be recognized. Do you really want to go this route? Baisu is the most terrifying genius I've seen in all the years I've been in charge of Konoha. You may not know that he doesn't need a hand seal to perform ninjutsu. What a powerful comprehension. There is a reason why he was able to kill the 3 generations of Raikage and the army of 10,000 Iwagakure. There must be some extremely terrifying abilities that have not been shown before the eyes of the world. You must not act rashly. Sarutobi Hiruzen pondered for a while, but still couldn't help trying to persuade this old comrade in arms. Since he became Hokage, the two have been both enemies and friends. If there is no pressure from Shimura Danzo, maybe he will be in charge of the 3 generations of Hokage. It won't do that well either. He had a hunch that if Baisu really shot Shimura Danzo, Danzo would disappear from this world without a trace, and no one else would even see it with his own eyes. I have done my best for Konoha, I will never be a missing nin. The 4th Hokage tried to judge me without any charges, and the consequences will be his own. Come on, send the 3rd generation back to rest. Shimura Danzo is still very tough. He doesn't think he will lose. Once he becomes a missing nin, I'm afraid it will be difficult to return to Konoha. At that time, everything he has worked hard for so many years will be in vain. He can sacrifice for the village, but becoming a Hokage is a dream he has pursued all his life, and it will never change. Boom. Just as Shimura Danzo's voice fell, an extremely terrifying roar came, awakening almost all the members of the root. Lord Danzo, there is a mutation in the area where the Uchiha family is located. We are not sure, please give instructions. 2 root members rushed in, knelt down and lowered their heads to report to Shimura Danzo that the situation was very urgent, and they ignored Shimura Danzo's order not to disturb the conversation between the two. The Uchiha clan. Let's go and see together. Shimura Danzo said it was an anomaly in the area where the Uchiha clan was located, and he felt a thump in his heart. Baisu wouldn't have shot so quickly. It's really a bit impatient to choose to start in the middle of the night. Although the roots are underground and there is a certain defense force, it will definitely not be able to stop the attack of a peak cage-level powerhouse. They used the technique of instant body to come outside, and found that there were countless golden clouds floating in the sky, and it was impossible to see the edge at a glance. It was originally night, but now it is as bright as day. A majestic and immortal phantom stands in it, reaching up to 33 days and down to 18 layers of hell. One finger is like the Jinchuriki column on the top of Kunlun Mountain. After seeing it, mortals are all trembling and kneeling on the ground. Cow down endlessly. The immortal king is coming to the 9 heavens. This is a vision automatically brought about by the practice of the Void Sutra. Although there is not much lethality, there is a power of heaven and earth. I am afraid that no one in the Hokage world can withstand this kind of power. If you look closely, this phantom is exactly what Baisu looks like. The figure of peerless elegance suppresses the ages, and everything in the world loses its color. His gaze spanned the endless space distance and landed on 2 tiny figures. What kind of gaze seemed to contain endless laws, the mysteries of heaven and earth, and the cycle of life and death? Shimura Danzo was shaking violently, his mind went blank, he felt that his soul had been seen through, and the other party could kill him with a single thought. This terrifying vision did not last long, and soon disappeared, and the area of the Uchiha family returned to calm, as if nothing abnormal had occurred. 3 generations of Hokage-sama. What is the name of the organization you just mentioned? Akatsuki right. I think it is necessary to go there in person, otherwise such an organization with an S-rank missing nin is secretly spying, and Konoha will always be threatened. Chapter 79 Borrow Money. No door. Shimura Danzo fled overnight, and he didn't even have time to bring Lee. In the face of absolute power, any conspiracy and tricks will be directly smashed. Heavens appeared, there was another group of witnesses, a big murderer Loli and Shizune were running wildly towards the territory of Konoha. If you look closely, this Loli is similar to Tsunade in 9 points, it is simply Tsunade shrinking. Version. Lord Tsunade, we should have escaped the hunting range. Although those ninjas were hired by the largest casino in the country of fire, they did not dare to go wild within the range of Konoha. As a medical ninja, Shizune's main task is not to treat the wounded, but to plan an escape route for Tsunade. Konoha's big fat sheep really lives up to its reputation. Wherever he goes, he loses where he goes, and is often blocked by casino people at the hotel entrance. However, Tsunade played a little big this time, and even lost his underwear outside. The owner of the casino is also a very powerful person in the country of fire. It is said that he is a relative of the famous name of the country of fire. He directly dispatched a group of professional ninjas to collect the debt. Shizune and Tsunade disguised all the way and finally ran back. Let's run forward for a while, although the ninja team chasing us are all Chunin, but they are very mobile. If they get entangled here, Anbu who has disturbed Konoha will not be able to tell clearly. Hold on, wait until Konoha is safe. Tsunade didn't even have time to lift the transformation technique, and he kept running like Loli all the time. He was able to force Yuhi, one of Sanin, into this appearance. It is estimated that no one would believe it. Wait, what is that? Shizune and Tsunade stopped abruptly, stunned when they looked at the Dharma image of the immortal king standing in the sky above Konoha village. What kind of ninjutsu is that? What a horrible amount of chakra, even a tailed beast can't reach this level. It looks like Baisu, it's too big, who can stand it? Tsunade didn't know what to think, a hint of shame flashed on Yuhi's face, and he spat secretly. What was he thinking about? Shizune, does Tsunade-sama mean Uchiha's patriarch? I heard that Baisu has been a Hokage for the 4th generation, and now he has a very high reputation in the village. When the two were in the country of fire, Tsunade threw himself at the gambling table, but Shizune noticed the news around him. Uchiha Baizu killed the 3rd generation of Raikage, eliminated the army of 10,000 Iwagakure villagers, surpassed Namikaze Minato in prestige, and got most of the people. The recognition has successfully become the 4th generation of Hokage. What? That pervert became Hokage. When Tsunade heard the news, she had a cute look on her face. As the granddaughter of the first Hokage, she didn't like the Uchiha family, but unexpectedly she didn't dislike this person. Yes, I have found someone to confirm this news, And it is indeed true. Why did Tsunade-sama call him a pervert? Could it be? Shizune knew that Tsunade never cared about Konoha's affairs, and didn't expect to be so concerned about Hokage's affairs. Ah, haha, it's okay, the village is just ahead, let's run to dawn. Tsunade knew that he had missed his mouth, so he hurriedly hit haha, and took Shizune and slipped into the village. After dawn, Baisu received the news that Shimura Danzo had defected, and even the elites of the routes were taken away. As usual, Konoha would send out a chasing force to bring back missing Nin's body as a warning to all ninjas. What do you think about this matter? Baisu was sitting in the office with documents as high as a hill in front of him, with a hint of impetuousness in his eyes. He wasn't thinking about Danzo, a small role, it didn't matter, but what to do with this pile of documents, which all needed to be signed and sealed. I didn't expect being a Hokage would be so busy. This work is done from morning to night, and it is estimated that there is not even time to rest. How can I practice Qigong? How to take the adventure team around? Shimura Danzo must have received some rumors, otherwise it would be impossible to escape overnight. This old fox spent half his life on the routes, and now he has even abandoned the routes, which shows that he has a clear position on his strength. We can dispatch the elite of Anbu to capture this old fox and put him in the torture department of the special forces. He has been at the top of Konoha for so many years, he knows countless secrets of Akatsuki, and he has also mastered many kinds of S-rank ninjutsu. In other villages, Uchiha Tekka and the others are now the actual heads of the Konoha Anbu and Hokage guards, and they look at Baisu with fanatical admiration in their eyes. They also saw the vision of heaven and earth last night. With the existence of Baisu, the strength of the Uchiha clan surpassed its peak. Just releasing a little news scared Shimura Danzo to flee, even the god of ninja world Senjuhashirama back then. It's okay to chase and kill, there's no need to be so careful, break up the people at the root, give them some miscellaneous work, and use them if they can be subdued. Baisu waved his hand. Shimura Danzo has cage-level strength, and Orochimaru's technical assistance, adding Mokuden wood style, cells and Izanagi, is not something that elite jonin like Uchiha Tekka can handle. The problem now is to find someone to handle a lot of affairs in Hokage's office. He still wants poetry in the distance, so he can't take care of the troubles in front of him. Uchiha Makoto is his wise helper, but he is a little reluctant to let Makoto handle these chores. Bang bang bang. Princess Tsunade, you are not allowed to enter, the fourth Hokage, Sama is having a meeting. Get out of the way. You dare to stop this princess if you see anyone, don't you want to mess around in Konoha? Little people dare not. Ellipsis. At this moment, a loud noise sounded at the door, Uchiha Tekka and the others got used to being nervous, and unconsciously touched the kunai around their waists. Huh, Tsunade is back, why is this woman in Hokage's office? A light flashed in Baisu's eyes, this woman still has several achievements to brush. After the war on the top, he promised to find a reliable doctor for Whitebeard, and he was talking about Tsunade. This woman is Hokage's most talented medical ninja. Today, the medical rules on the battlefield are made by her and are used by major ninjas. The village is an iron law, and maybe it can really cure Whitebeard's disease. Baisu, don't be nervous, no one kills me in this world. Put Princess Tsunade in quickly, I have something to look for her. Yes. After receiving the order, his subordinates opened the door, only to find Shizune alone standing at the door, looking over with an apologetic expression. Didn't you say Lord Tsunade was outside the door? Where did she go? Could it be that we heard it wrong? Impossible. How could the three of us hear it wrong at the same time? It's obviously her voice. ... Uchiha Tekka and the others looked at each other in dismay, and a little loli that was ignored by them couldn't bear it anymore, jumped up and gave them a shudder. As Hokage's guards, do you only have this kind of perception? Don't you look down? The Uchiha family is really inferior to one generation. Let me go out. I want to talk to the fourth generation. Dull sounded, Uchiha Teka and others were ashamed. They subconsciously felt that Tsunade was a woman of normal height, who knew that she had turned into a cute little loli. If she didn't jump, she could only hit their knees. 2 minutes later, Tsunade jumped on the chair opposite Hokage's desk, crossed Erlang's legs, and tilted his head to look at Baisu while peeling oranges, as if he was taking the initiative to strike up a conversation with him. This woman is addicted to pretending to be lowly, and she hasn't lifted the transformation technique yet, and she doesn't know what she's doing. Isn't this a little Yuhi Insanin, Princess Tsunade? What's the matter with me? When Baisu saw Tsunade's appearance, a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. There was a glimmer of hope in this woman's eyes. It was probably a disaster. The so-called fat sheep, she didn't hang out in the casino, but ran back to Konoha. Gambling debt, no money to spend. Humph. A satyr is also eligible to sit in Hokage's seat. I really don't know what the old guys in Konoha think. I have something to ask you this time. Just stamp a seal for me, Shizune. Give the file to the fourth generation. Tsunade's eyes wandered, and he waved his hand, motioning for Shizune to step forward. Oh, 4 generations of adults, please put the official seal on this position. I can do it for you. Shizune was called to the last jerky, and immediately came back to her senses. She took out a document from her bosom, and naturally covered the title with one hand, only showing Baisu the part that needed to be stamped. Unexpectedly, Baisu pushed her hand away, took the document and looked at it seriously. The loan contract today requires 70 million yuan in gold. It will be repaid in the future. Want to borrow money? There's no door. Baisu pressed the document on the table, leaned on the backrest, and said a word indifferently. This loan agreement is outrageous. There is no interest, and there is no repayment date. It is clear that there is no plan to pay it back. In fact, it is also his fault that the 3 generations of Hokage did not explain clearly to him. Princess Tsunade was spoiled since she was a child. Whenever the debt collectors are in a hurry, she will come to the 3 generations of Hokage to borrow money. Although Konoha is the most powerful and richest ninja village in the Hokage world, she can't stand such a toss. Later, the 3 generations of the eyes got what Tsunade owed. Money's information will hide from her. Baisu, don't go too far. Konoha was founded by the Senju clan in the beginning. What should I do with some money? Can I still eat, you poor? Sign it for me. I don't want to make it too ugly. Tsunade looks like a little loli. It seems to be more handy when sprinkled. This time she really didn't take it back. She owes too much. She is also going to travel with Shizune to several other countries. 10-10 was bet on Konoha village. Wouldn't it be hard to die? I'm sorry, Konoha now. I have the final say. The money here is public property, and you don't even want to take it away. A devilish smile appeared on Baisu's mouth. Tsunade clenched his fists in anger, really wanting to come up and bite him. P.S. Thanks for the reward yesterday and Yichiu Mat. Chapter 80 Kidnap a female secretary. Sir Shidemu, don't you be so ruthless. You can try to make a request with me, maybe it will satisfy you. Tsunade found that Baisu was very stubborn, and he changed his tactics. She lifted the transformation technique, and after a burst of white smoke, a woman with a great figure appeared in the Hokage office, with her hands on the desk, and Yan Yuhi's lips were full of temptation. This woman can complete the transformation from lowly to a woman in an instant. Baisu just looked up and saw a pair of 36Es trembling in front of him, as if a mountain was about to collapse. If his concentration was a little bit worse, he probably couldn't bear it anymore. Nosebleeds are coming out. It's easy to talk, as long as you are obedient. Money is easy to talk about. Baisu stepped back and leaned on the back of the seat, forcing his gaze away from the great pair. Then just say it. No matter what you ask, I will agree to you. A dangerous smile appeared at the corner of Tsunade's mouth. She bent her right leg forward and slowly placed it on the table. Since she was wearing a cheongsam, this action caused a large expanse of snow white. Tsunade-sama, you. Shizune was stunned, she had never seen Tsunade's wild side. According to her understanding, Tsunade and Baisu are really not that familiar with each other. How could they make such a joke, even using the beauty trick? After she reacted, with a pretty face, Yuhi dodged to the door near the door, guarding the two of them. There was a spark between Uchiha's patriarch and the granddaughter of the first Hokage. If this kind of thing spreads, I am afraid it will cause a shock in the ninja world. Then I'm welcome. Baisu grabbed the woman's jade hand and pulled her over. This woman is an S-level medical ninja, and she has too much potential to tap. Sure, let's talk. Tsunade's eyes couldn't help showing a hint of smugness in Chunin. Men are all the same, and they immediately become simple-minded when they meet a woman. She is a famous gambler, and running away from debts is a common occurrence for her. No matter what Baisu asks, she agrees to it, and runs away as soon as the money arrives. You finish all the work here today. Konoha needs to expand 3 residential areas. Give me the plan before going tonight, as well as the budget and material table. After finishing this, I will explain your next work. Don't worry, I will definitely give you the money. Baisu directly gave up his seat and pressed Tsunade on the seat. Such an obedient free labor, no need for nothing. Although Tsunade looks unreliable, her talent is still very high, otherwise it would be impossible to get the name of Sanin as a woman. Handling these documents is a matter of hand. Tsunade was sitting on the seat and felt a little dizzy when he saw the hill-like documents. What's going on with this man? He played cards out of common sense. Haven't you been fascinated by the charm of this princess? What the hell is this? I won't do it. Only a fool would do Hokage's work. It's absolutely impossible for this princess to submit. Tsunade was so angry that if she hadn't known that her strength was no match for Baisu, she should have given him a taste of the strange power. Is this man blind, or is his charm diminished? To know that she has grown so big and has not seduced anyone. If you don't do it, you won't have any money. You really have the skills. In the Land of Fire alone, 7 large casinos jointly want you, and the debt collectors almost came to the Hokage office. If you really find it troublesome and don't want to do it, you can just walk out of Konoha just like you. It is said that the Jonin level masters they invited are ambushing around Konoha, as long as you go out empty-handed. Baisu's words have been made very clear. Tsunade is powerful, but he can't really conflict with the people in the casino, right? That would probably wipe out the faces of the Senju clan. You're cruel, just wait for me. Tsunade Silver Kiba a bit secretly, thinking of the serious consequences of walking out of Konoha. She sat back in the Hokage seat unsatisfactorily. She is an S-class medical ninja, but suffers from hyperphobia, so the way to get money by relying on tasks has been broken. Now I really can only count on Baisu to open his mouth to save himself. Master Tsunade, I'll help you. Seeing that the confrontation between the two had come to an end, Shizune hurried forward to help. There are too many documents in this batch. Some of them were handed over to Baisu when the 3rd generation of Hokage retired, but they were left on the desk for so long without anyone asking. The two quickly entered the state, busy like a top, and didn't even have time to drink. In the original plot, during the 4th Ninja World War, Tsunade could temporarily hold her feet and act as Konoha's 5th generation Hokage, and even commanded a battle with sound and color. Her ability to solve problems is quite strong, and she was born to be a Hokage material. As expected of the granddaughter of the original Hokage Senju Hashirama and his wife Uzumaki Mito, with a Shizune attached, I should have brought them with me when I knew I was in office. Baisu is now leaning back on the sofa happily, quietly watching the two women busy. Just go to the group to have a good time, these days are not happy. After a battlefield mission, the power of the big guys in the group became even higher. Baisu didn't bother to check it for a few days. He climbed for a long time without the top floor, so he just gave up. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, the days when the group leader is not here are really cool. Everyone, my steel armor has been successfully developed, and it feels good to save people everywhere. The strongest man in the world, Gu la la la. I used the Tao enlightenment function once, and the Gen fruit was further awakened. The strength now is much stronger than when the war was on top. Destiny can really be changed. Mrs. Guo, I really envy everyone that you can master your own destiny. My destiny doesn't seem to be very good. The group leader has been embarrassed to tell me directly. Butterfly house owner, Sister Huang Rong, you are thinking too much. If it is more miserable, I am afraid that the people in the group can't compare to me. Didn't the master of the group tell me about my future? Ding! Jin Yichuan started the live broadcast. Please pay attention to the live broadcast time. With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, Jin Yichuan. Who is it? I have no impression of this name at all. Is it a newcomer? And Izumi Sagiri. It doesn't seem to be a newcomer. A newcomer can only be invited by the group owner, and I have seen this name while robbing Yuhi Bag. He seems to be the second batch to join the group. Tony, you forgot to post it yourself. Yuhi Bag, has anyone had the best luck? With the body of a mortal, standing shoulder to shoulder with gods, I really can't remember. Is there such a thing?